They say nothing in life is free.
Nothing in life is free.
But we beg to differ. The Tom and Dan Bad at Business Beer Fest is back. And guess what? It's totally free. That's right. Free entry, free beer, food trucks, and more, because we still haven't figured out how to make money on a free beer fest. Yet. On November 23rd from noon to 5 p.m., we're taking over historic downtown Sanford right between West End and Celery City Craft. Grab your free sample cup starting at noon while supplies last. And enjoy beats from Orlando Music Syndicate. Then at 2 p.m., the party kicks into high gear with live music from Silver Linings and free beer samples from dozens of local breweries. Special thanks to our not-so-free sponsors, JustCallMo.com, White Claw Seltzer, Fairvilla Megastore, Modern Plumbing Industries, and the Current Seafood Counter. Come early, bring your friends, and party with us at the Tom and Dan Bad at Business Beer Fest on November 23rd. See you there. Did we mention it's free?
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We have a guest in studio, and before we get to our guest...
Yeah. We have like business to do here? No, we're live on Twitch and YouTube. I need to do a better job when we come back from breaks of reminding you guys that you can watch our podcast because it's pretty darn good. I'm happy with it.
I would just like to congratulate Daniel and I for becoming the number one art podcast in Orlando. We are Orlando's art podcast now.
I don't know. The tide of art in Orlando rises and sets with us. I think I messed that all up.
Yeah.
You and I are... Like, no one appreciates art like we do. No one supports the art community like we do.
That's true.
No one supports the gay community like we do.
Yes.
The LGBTQ+. No one supports the African-American community like we do. Nobody offers up more of their artistic... jokes and true thoughts of their inner core, and no one gives more to Orlando than we do. It is a travesty that these so-called politicians and these so-called journalists, if you want to even use that term, do these lists of 50 most powerful people, and we're never on them, even though we are slaves to Orlando and we live for the city, and we are the true champions of art in this town.
It's like Jelly Roll and Post Malone being the new face of country music.
Exactly. I know
it makes a lot of people mad.
Rattles you, but guess what? Me and my pal Jelly Roll here. You're Jelly Roll.
Okay.
Me and my pal Jelly Roll here are the kings of Orlando art and history, museums. We got it on lock, and science. That's all
science.
Of us. Who
art,
works with us? Or
museum.
Let me ask you a couple
every museum.
You just called it a museum. Let me ask you a question.
That's art. That's my art.
That's art. That's your art. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do we work with the Science Center?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Do we work with the Orlando Regional History Center?
Yes, we do.
Do we work with the Orlando Museum?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Okay.
Museum of Art.
Okay, the Museum of Art. Yes.
And now the History and Art Museum of Maitland.
Maitland Museum.
Which I live in.
We're getting all the museums.
I run by it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell is that? You're like, he runs by it. He's like, that's a fancy museum.
There. What's going on?
We're scaring our guest. He has no idea what he walked into today.
No.
But I'm glad you reminded me. I'm glad that you reminded that we needed to do the art proclamation. We are the kings of art, and no one can even do you? Any other show working with any artists? Show me. They're not. They're not doing it.
So speaking of the Art and History Museum of Maitland, they have an exhibit there called Man and Machine.
It is really good.
And we have the artist that has created this entire exhibit, and it's super cool.
Yeah.
And we were looking at it this morning, and I can't even understand how you make some of the stuff.
It's also got a bit of a disruption aspect to it because, and we'll get into that a little bit.
Let me see if I can pronounce his name.
Yeah, do it.
You know, I did grow up in Miami.
Yeah.
So
No worries,
I should be able, but I've been living in honky town for too long.
Here we go.
I got up here.
Hold on, we're the kings of Orlando honky town art.
When I got up here, I was kissing everybody on the cheek.
Yeah,
I was bringing my Miami style, and then everybody's like backing off. I'm like, oh, they don't do this in Central Florida. I don't
do a lot of cheek kissing.
Very European, you know.
But that's what they do in Miami.
Yeah.
And then I got up here, and all the honky influence.
You started working with,
I lost my
Florida
Spanish
cattlemen.
accent. Marro is here.
Yeah.
How you doing, Marro?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great, you guys.
Sorry about all this.
We apologize. It had to be done, though.
No, this is fun.
Sometimes we're not really good at giving ourselves flowers, and we deserve the bouquet there. We deserve the bouquet for somebody's got to champion art.
So explain the exhibit because because it is super cool, and we have been into AI recently, so I want to talk about how AI is infused into this.
Right. So it's at the Maitland Art Center, or known as the Art and History Museums of Maitland as well.
Yeah.
And it's just an exhibit. I worked there over the last year. I had a residency there, so it's like a 1-year appointment where they provide me with a studio, and I get to just work there, sort of uninterrupted. And yeah, it was really, really amazing, for young emerging artists to kind of have a space and a place to work and get something done and really, channel all of that for a year, without working in my kitchen or having to pay for some expensive space. So it was really amazing. And so the exhibit I was able to develop, Man and Machine, it's sort of about men and our struggles in life and, our equation of our value with our physical abilities and sort of equating us to machines and, also talking about that idea of becoming outdated and getting replaced by the machine and all that sort of combined, with the onset of AI and also sort of men's mental health. Yes. So it's a big, complicated thing, but also I think I made it very approachable for men because it's woodworking, it's engraving, it's kinetic sculpture.
This is very popular right now as I'm seeing the interwovings of maybe the feature film The Wild Robot. I see the parallels. One could draw parallels here between your art and mainstream robot-to-movie art.
So now I understand everything you're saying, but our listeners, they're real dumb.
They're real dumb.
Yeah.
As you knew from the intro, our listeners, we know we're cold.
I mean, every day we're with the art. But these guys, they look up at us and they're like, what?
Right, but I think that's a really important point to make because, you don't want to make art that ostracizes people by being so weird or confusing to look at. You don't even know what you're looking at.
Do you know 14%? Only 14% of overweight people enjoy art. Did you know that?
How did they even get that?
I don't know.
It's a lot of walking. You got to walk a lot.
I read it this morning in preparation for you. Exactly. It's a very odd statistic, but it's out there.
Yeah, that's really strange.
I know.
So if you look at the exhibit online, it's described as wood carving mixed with AI-assisted machinery.
Right.
And so
immediately I thought people that do art and wood carving would see the last line and be like, uh-oh, that's what I meant by disruption,
Right.
Anytime you take AI and infuse it into, quote, art, sometimes artists get rattled.
Right.
So, explain how you make these sculptures, because they are amazing.
Right. So it's a combination, sort of digital process, but also there's a lot of drawing involved. So some of the work, features these sort of really elaborate engravings, which kind of start as a digital artwork, and then those, where the AI comes in, is those get translated into vector files, and then a CNC machine can eventually engrave those, right? But there's certain interpretations that essentially happen. My drawing gets interpreted by the AI, and then that's what ends up getting carved, right? So it's
interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy. So is there? Am I correct in thinking that you, as an artist, once you have inputted your art, or you input your art into the AI program, is there a point when you take your hands off of it and AI is then making a decision that gives it like freedom?
Yeah, and not quite. I wouldn't quite say freedom.
Okay.
It is all very controlled.
Sure.
I would say I'm not just letting the AI do whatever it wants, but it's AI assisted, right? It interprets what I give it into code, into numerical code, right? And so it's sort of this one step removed process. Some people equate it to printmaking, where you have a block and then you print that block, right? But my block happens to be digital, and then the AI interprets the final image of that, and that's kind of what the print you get, right?
Is it it's kind of cool in a way that you don't have to code, right?
No, I don't have to code. No.
So you are able to use. So I'm like you in a weird way, because the way I use AI is purely from a non. I always use it from a creative standpoint. I am a creative guy.
You use it for art.
Yeah, I've written silly songs with it. I've done art,
absolutely,
and stuff like that. But I'm always controlling it. But I also never. I never let it, I force it to do what I want.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think a key point with the whole AI and art thing is that, you don't want AI to make the art. You want the AI to do everything else, so I have time to do the art, right? And so that's the point here, right? So the AI is not taking over. It is just a tool I'm using, and it is interpreting what I'm doing it, but in a very what I'm telling it to do in a very controlled way. But, I also think it's important to, if I'm going to speak about men and these subjects, to make the art of, something that we identify with. And men love tools, and we love technology and gears and moving things and things like that. So I think it's really important to incorporate that into the work to comment on it afterwards.
Sure. I want to know your background as far as, how did you learn to do any of this? Like, what led you? It's a very unique skill set you have.
And it is.
And did you start non-digitally or non-AI infused? In a way?
Well, the wood carving,
and then you were like, you know what? I want to be in this world.
It's a long way coming. It's like asking an artist, how did you make that so quickly, right? And well, the real answer is it wasn't quick. It was 15, 20 years of working up my practice, my ideas, my methodologies to get to that point.
Sure.
But, I was sort of predisposed for this in a way. I grew up in Switzerland. I'm from there. My father was a carpenter. So I grew up sort of looking at that kind of stuff and playing with it. And then eventually I immigrated to the United States in 2001 and, got to school eventually. And I just fell in love with art and I've always been into technology. I was that weird kid taking apart my mom's hairdryer to figure out what it does. And it just all kind of culminated in this, that addition of the advanced technology was just for fun for me, something I learned here in school. I went to school here, UCF.
Right on.
Both undergrad and grad school.
Did your dad teach you how to wood carve?
No.
They were like that. He just happened to be, and then it's like you borrowed.
No. Or was he like the typical dad? He's like, don't get into wood carving.
No,
like my dad was like, you're not going to do what I do.
No, he didn't actually force it at all, in any way, or he didn't tell me to not do it. But my dad was like sort of my hero growing up in many ways. He was this larger than life guy who sort of always worked really hard, and I just I emulated that from a young age. And so I just really fell in love with the woodworking but he does something totally different. He does like functional carpentry stuff.
What are his thoughts on like what you do and where you've taken like your style of art and or carpentry?
He came to see the exhibit actually this past Friday at the opening, and he was
rubbish.
He hated it. He disowned me on the spot. No, he loved it. He was kind of blown away. It's a very different thing, and it's and that's part of the work too, is that conversation about men and our vulnerabilities. And he sort of almost didn't know what to say, but in a really good and sweet way. So it was really great.
It's also cool to see generationally different versions of sort of a same lane. Like you have functioning furniture or woodworking, and then you have this like completely bananas artwork. And then I noticed on some of yours, there's also a very human aspect to it. And tell me if this is what you were going for or no. But like I liked how like even when you were drawing things, that the Sharpie is just sort of taped to the machine doing it. You know what I mean? It almost made it feel more like really like art instead of it being like a computer.
You noticed that tape on there.
I thought it was cool.
No, honestly, that's just. I'm a man of
necessity, right?
Right. I'm a man of simple solutions. Usually the answer is within 10 feet of you, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes
painter's table works.
That just works. It just works, and
because the art's incredible. I think on that one too. You're like, look at me, I'm drawing in the
And there's a bit of information that sort of gets distorted or lost, if you will, when you do something like that, and that's part of the beauty of it. That you don't have this like perfect mark every time. Kind of a little bit of that unexpectedness actually adds a lot of like love and warmth to the work. That's why I love using wood too. It's such an unpredictable material. You never know what's going to be under there. So I just think it makes the work really like warm and feel sort of easily to identify with the work.
Now, you're a UCF guy, correct?
Yeah.
And so when me and Daniel graduated UCF, I'm just curious how you made it to Central Florida and to UCF.
Well, we immigrated to St. Augustine. My family did, and then eventually, it was time to go to college, and I just loved Orlando. I just loved the city and went to school there, and then, eventually found my way to the arts. And for my grad school here, I just had really some good connections with some professors here in town. I didn't want to lose those relationships, and I felt that was really important to sort of further develop, and I ended up kind of connecting with with some of those people at UCF, and it really just it was just a wonderful experience, just to kind of stay here. And most people don't go somewhere else for their grad experience, but I just love this place. And I had a great professor named Ryan Bisons who was really into CNC technology. He taught me a lot about it, and sort of
Ryan
Bisons. Yeah, he doesn't work there anymore, unfortunately.
Used to be an old fat radio DJ here in town named Ron Bison. Ron Bison he was on K92, the country station. It was Ron Bison in the morning.
Unrelated,
Yeah, completely unrelated. It was Bisons. This is Bison.
Yeah.
Mara, I want to set up a scenario for you because
we have some other class of 05 UCF babies in there. They're yelling him on. They're cheering him on.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. And by the way, people love your art.
That's
the
great.
The chat room is completely enamored with you.
Yeah,
they like you.
So let's say I'm at the Maitland Art Museum, and I'm wandering through the exhibit, and I've always wanted to do what I like to call oil tycoon, where I see a piece that moves me,
right?
And then I'm like,
look at this stunning display.
I have to have this, and then you
go get the little man with the glasses,
right,
and then he puts a tiny green sticker on it, which means it's been purchased.
No, it's not for sale.
No, you gotta have those little stickers.
But if they wanted to purchase it, even though it's not for sale,
everything's for sale.
Everything's for sale. Like, how would that work?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the goal is to make money, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, most of those pieces are actually for sale.
Oh, okay.
So if anyone's interested. But, I can always make more, right? That's part of it. So if there's that one piece that's sold that you really wanted, reach out to the artist, find that website and connect, or find their Instagram and reach out. Artists love to sell their work, and also they love to sell it privately because galleries take 50% of the money.
50%?
50%. 50%.
Oh my God.
So you just got, you want to make... You spend 200 hours or something, and you want to make $1,500. Well, it needs to be, $3,000.
So that's why the prices are high.
That's part of why the prices are where they are.
That makes sense.
You immediately lose 50%. Maitland takes 20%. Amazing.
That's pretty darn nice.
That's honestly great.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Castleberry takes 75%.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that.
But if you want to cut them out,
25%. I think 25% of that is just kratom.
Yeah. Just hit Mara up and be like, "Hey, I'll Facebook message you." We meet in the Applebee's parking lot.
You got to go in between. Yeah, you got to go in between counties.
Yeah, we'll meet at Cappy's in the parking lot.
I'll meet you behind Walmart.
Did you know Cappy's is back? No. We saved Cappy's, man.
Cappy's?
We Cappy subs.
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Everybody's heard of it. Just nobody goes there.
No, I don't go there.
It's right by the Museum of Art.
It's right by there. You could drop through there. Some say their subs are a work of art.
So I'm curious to what the hardest sculpture you've made at the
I like
exhibit.
the tree blowing in the wind. I think that's an older one, but that is an older one. How big is that?
That's, about, I don't know, 3 feet tall by maybe 2 by 2 feet.
To describe it to people, it basically has a mechanism inside of it that makes it look like the leaves are constantly moving. Right?
Yeah. It was when I was an undergrad, I was making these pieces that were sort of abstractions of nature. So I thought it was kind of fun to make a windless tree,
Yeah.
And this was sort of some of my early thinking, sort of bringing a dead material back to life. This is wood that we've cut, we've remanufactured it into different wood. It's plywood, it's MDF. But now I've given it new life. It's a tree again, and maybe in the future when all the wind has stopped on the planet Earth, this tree will still be. This one will still be moving.
Yeah, I know.
Mara,
that's a very sad fact you stuck in there.
Well, you got to have that little dark humor in there.
That's art.
That's important in my work.
It also tells the truth, right?
It does.
I'm curious to what you think AI will do in the future, and what AI could possibly do to art, what we perceive as human art versus AI art.
And just right off the top, because I wanted to ask this, have you had any pushback from people that are other artists that are like, man, I don't know, I like art when it doesn't have AI?
I've had a few people who are like engravers, and they're like, oh, well, it's kind of like cheating. You're using that machine, But for me, it's like, well, I'm using an iPhone, and you're using an old dial, like an old crappy phone. That's like how I look at it. And as far as like my art is concerned, I'm just using the technology of the time to comment on the time, right? So, but that being said, I do think AI it's a really risky thing. I mean, it could go either way. I hope it's just here to help us, right? And it doesn't take over.
Yeah.
But it is a scary thing.
It could peel our skin off and boil us alive.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. But that's what I would do if I were AI. I would peel all your skin off and boil you alive.
It's not crazy.
Yeah, and no, in fact, I'd make it worse than that. I'd make you peel your own skin off and boil yourself alive.
And it came so far to nobody had Chat GPT like a year or two ago, and now it's everybody's using it. I mean, you fall behind otherwise. You almost have to.
I don't even do anything over here anymore, and I tell Tom that.
Yeah, I mean, I send emails with it. I do all kinds of stuff with it.
I will only use it for emails if it's a fancy email and I need to not mess things up. So, like, if I'm emailing a guest and I want to get all the details in there, I'll use it. But I think sometimes people will call me out if I use it.
Sometimes the email gets a little robotic. It's almost too like cold.
Do you think we'll get to a point where we will be? It'll be impossible to distinguish what is AI and what is human created, and then if we get to that point, then is it diminish human creation?
Well, no, it just gives us a better appreciation for art that's flawed. So we'll go the other direction. The pendulum will go back.
Well, then it just the AI will just start emulating the flaws because it just does.
We'll ride that out for a while until we get back to crappy art.
It is a really complex question, right? Because I think AI will...
Hold on a second. I need to point out that Tom and I, the luminaries in this world of art and science and history, ask really complicated questions.
Oh, it's so difficult,
Back to you, Mara.
Very highbrow. But no, I think design will be really heavily affected by AI, right? Sort of stuff that is not in like the fine art world, right? Web design or marketing, that kind of stuff. AI is really going to take over there because it's just quick and easy, and it pumps those things out really, really well. While I think at this point, the fine art, it still really lacks like that authenticity that you seek in artwork, right? It cannot fake like authenticity, and it can't fake that experience. It can do the technique and it can pull off the visual, but it still has no soul, and I think
it's Kyler Murray.
That's a sports reference.
No, that's a great. Dude, tell me, that's a good reference. He got all the tools. If you watch that guy run, he runs. He's the best at running. You watch that guy pass, he's the best at passing.
Right.
But he just doesn't have the soul. He doesn't have the soul.
And so I think that'll be an interesting intersection when it becomes self-aware, right? Because then we're all screwed, right?
You're just like, well, what is soul?
Right. And then when it has a soul,
and then it's talking to me, like, hello, Daniel, why don't you come in here and peel your skin off and boil yourself alive?
So my advice is be real nice to the chat,
Oh, man, I'm the meanest to it. Do you interact with it?
I'm always like, thank you so much,
no,
chat.
I always say things. I'll go like, you made this mistake yesterday. And then I'll say, if you were real, I would kill you.
He gaslights AI. He makes it believe.
Yeah, well, we know where they're coming first. So,
They will. Yeah. It'll be my house, guaranteed.
Again, it's the Art and History Museum of Maitland.
Yes, sir.
The exhibit is now. It's Man and Machine.
Go support it. Go see it. Go support local artists. The chat room loved you. Congrats on everything, man.
Yeah. Thank
really
you guys.
Cool to have you in.
Exhibit is up until January 5th, I believe.
Nice.
It's usually Tuesday through Sunday. It's open. I think 11 through 4, something like that. Go check it out. It's really something different, art that speaks to us men and our experience. And, I'd love to have anyone check it out.
Awesome.
That's really cool, man.
Thanks so much for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you guys for having me. This is awesome for a local artist, a young guy, just anything to get the work out there. You know?
Well, we try to get the word out. Look, if you're going to be the forerunners of art in Orlando, you can't just talk it. You gotta walk
the walk. That's
you gotta walk it, and we walk it.
Yeah. Now, I will say, if we promoted Twin Peaks right now, I mean, it'd be slammed.
That's art. That is art.
Yeah. But,
you ever been to Twin Peaks? Oh, my God, Mara. What do you mean? Oh, my God. Put some AI on that.
What is Twin Peaks?
Twin Peaks? Don't even know.
Oh, my God.
Like a strip club or something?
Hey, not a strip club. It's a place to get wings.
It's a family sports bar.
It is. So it is. Okay.
No, it's not, Mara.
I know what it is.
You don't know what it is. You don't know what it is.
They just have the outfits.
Look, these are UCF. These are women going to UCF trying to work their way through school that need a couple dollars, and I just happen to tuck it in their flannel.
Come on.
Just another restaurant.
Yeah, here's a $50 bill in your flannel.
All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We are on location for this interview.
I like that you say on location because I usually say we are live, and we're not. We're not live. That's how dumb I am. We're never live.
Yeah. We are with Pat Lynch and Taco Bob.
Hey.
At their studio in a
beautiful JRR. We're here at the Rock Station.
Yeah. And
what's up, guys? Good to see you.
Is iHeart charging you guys for studio time?
You know what? We were supposed to have. I don't know if I should say that. We're supposed to have cards so we can come and go as we please.
That was the. I think they got rid of that lady that told us.
Yeah. Never mind. We lost our cards.
I don't think she's a boss anymore.
Yeah, we lost our cards.
So
yes, we are being charged. So let's make this quick.
So now full transparency, we just did Pat and Taco's podcast
Off the Air podcast.
Where can people listen to that, by the way?
Free iHeartRadio app. You can get it there. You can get it at our website, WJR.com/podcast. And
iHeartRadio.
Dun.
I want to find out what's your normal day like as
Taco gets a big dump. Humongous mega dump.
So I want to know how much, because you guys have been doing it for so long, and I feel how many
you should have
people?
said that differently. You should have said, you guys have been doing it for so long. Instead of, you guys have been doing it for so long.
I just want to hang it up already.
I'm going to help you with some. I'm going to help you with some of your inflection.
Sorry about that.
And just help you not
taken as that, or man, you guys are old as shit.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I started thinking about, it must be very rare nationwide for a duo to be doing a show for this long in one market. I mean, do you know if there's any, you got to be in the top 10 longest radio duo?
Because you've had some ups and downs and
market.
Comes and goes, but always in the same market, right?
Us working together, it's all been here. And for a brief time, they had us on in Tampa as well, as a simulcast.
That's super weird, though. You're right. Yeah, and we're super weird that we're still, but that is weird that you guys are still together doing it.
Because usually, in the radio world, you end up, things happen, you move to a different market, it's constantly moving, and
you guys are in the same market.
Yeah. Although we kind of left radio,
we're not relevant anymore, really.
But you're right. It's weird in Orlando that there are shows that have been on so long. Although there could be other cities that shows have been on for 30 years too. But it seems like it's unlikely.
I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I mean, you're in radio, so what do you think?
There are folks who've been doing the thing in their same city for their whole careers. But no, you're right.
Not duos, not mainly a bunch of duos.
No, right, correct. It's more, a lot of them are single.
One guy,
Yeah, it's one person show.
One horrible, just an angry bastard.
Not necessarily.
I bet they are, though. They're egomaniacs, control freaks. Where's my packet?
Yeah, well,
yelling at people.
Then there's a lot of music folks who have managed to do that, too, I think, over the years.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. As far as teams go, it's pretty weird and odd that this has worked out.
Do you guys have favorite Orlando DJs and or on-air personalities that you knew of before you guys got to be those personalities that maybe you looked up to?
Well, Mark Szymanski.
Szymanski ruled.
Szymanski was great.
Yeah.
Slats was a good buddy of mine to this day, and he actually worked here for a while.
Yeah.
Ron and Ron.
Yeah, Ron and Ron, of course.
I mean, when I started here, they were the morning show, and I was interning, and I was Bubba the Love Sponge.
Yeah.
I mean,
how about Ron Bison, that K92 back in the day?
I was just talking about him the other day.
Yeah.
K92's Ron Bison. He was the first DJ that I knew as a young man that had a TV commercial, and I was like, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
It was like him, and he's standing there, and he's like, "Hey, what's up? It's me, Ron Bison.
Win some money from us."
The K92 morning team or something, and he'd have everybody with him. And the company that they used to shoot these commercials, I'm sure, goes all around North America doing it, but they were very high quality. So I thought it was. I was like, "That's the guy. Ron Bison is the guy."
Probably Film House in Nashville.
Yeah, it looked great. It always had the It was shot. It seemed to be shot on film.
They're cookie cutter spots that you can plug and play any station.
Glenn Beck did them.
Right.
The same spots.
Yes.
Back when he was that type of DJ.
We did some of those at WDIZ, and I actually got to see the whole production process when I was back at DIZ before I ended up here at JRR with Taco.
Oh, DIZ ruled.
And we went, and that's, I get to work with Szymanski there, and it was like, man, this is just, it was really, really weird at first. But then, I knew I was in it, for the long haul and started to learn the ins and outs. But, yeah, those spots you're talking about, they are plug and play, and they're just framed for stations. You can just plug in. They already get the licensing done for the montage of videos that are going to be shown.
all the music is sort of the same.
Yeah.
They have the same props. Like you might be holding a sign that says K92 on it, and then it has money in the mornings, and the person's like holding it. And it's all the same, but they looked really good. So as a young boy,
specific to each market.
Yeah, so I'm watching Fox 35 here, and I'm in DeLand, so Fox 35 is the Orlando net. They're buying on Fox. The commercial comes on during morning cartoons or something. I see that, I'm like, holy crap! I have to be Ron Bison. I have to do it. I think part of that happened to me. I really believe it.
Well, I remember back in the day, me and you did some radio or some TV crossover
with Fox 35.
Fox 35, and
I wrote music for The Simpsons, and then I did. It was The Simpsons double dose. It was a double dose of The Simpsons, and I was like, why don't we do a double dose like that? And they're like, oh, that's great. So then we wrote the song, and then Dan Stone helped me with it a little bit. I did the music. Dan mixed it, and then you and I shot the commercial, and we were dancing with The Simpsons.
Remember we did the Simpsons Olympics with Fox 35?
Yeah.
It was.
Remember we had
some listeners in with the blenders. The blenders.
They were weed whacker blenders.
Yeah, high.
The two-stroke weed whacker.
They used to
blender.
sell those at Exhilarate in the Altamont Mall.
Yeah. Well, I still have one that I own that my cousin hijacked about 15 years ago.
That's pretty cool.
He's still got it in his house.
They'll come back. They'll come back around.
What's the most ridiculous radio promotion you guys remember doing? Things that you couldn't get away with.
You're
now.
asking two of the greats. It's going to take them 3 hours to dig through the files.
Stripper Thursday. There's no hesitation.
Oh, wow. They both said it almost at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, because we did it every Thursday, and it was before websites were really, popular or whatever. Yeah. And they found out that we were they didn't know we were doing it. We were doing it in the studio and putting newspaper on the windows and having porn stars go down on each other and stuff. And then
this is when strip clubs had silly money and they were spending it to advertise.
Oh, yeah.
So it was an untapped resource. So we're showing revenue coming in for the company. They don't give a rat's ass where it's coming from. They're just seeing money on the books. And
they see web hits was the way that we got
we
busted,
were like the first station that before they really even micromanaged and even cared about the online stuff. We're like through the roof with as much as they could monitor that. Remember, they weren't able to keep tabs on all this stuff.
They're like, why do we have 10,000 people watching Liquid Lunch?
Right.
Or whatever it's called. We have 10,000 people watching this.
I'm telling you, it was because 3 markets popped up.
There was no video. It was just still shots.
It was
really?
Yes.
So it was literally like somebody would come in and just roll some photos to put them in a web.
Patrick Moulter.
I remember Moulter.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Oh, he
was a
had,
good man.
He had Thursdays blocked out on his calendar every week.
So that's why I could never find him on Thursdays.
Exactly.
What would they do? What would the strippers do?
Whatever we asked them to.
We played,
yes.
Stop. We played Trivial Birthday Suit.
Trivial Birthday Suit.
And it was the stripper.
Why did we think of that? Trivial Birthday Suit.
I brought in actual Trivial Pursuit questions, and I gave Bob all the answers ahead of time. So the idea
he
was...
just winked at me, by the way.
so the idea was, I play game show host. I'm quizzing them on these. You get the answer wrong, you got to remove a piece of clothing.
Can we steal this?
He never had to remove anything other than his shirt, which he would miss a question every now and then. And the strippers had no idea that he would never know the answers to these questions either. He'd be there buck naked too.
Trivial Birthday Suit brought to you by Blue Chew. We got to do this. We're going to do this.
But I get down to my underwear every now and then, and remember we did it against the porn stars, and all of a sudden they pulled my out of my boxers, and Moulter's taking pictures. I'm like, dude,
This is pre-internet, right?
Burn this, dude. Nobody was internet because that's how they found out. We had the pictures on the internet.
Still shots on it.
But that's what I'm saying. It was
and they loaded like this. Dump.
Bob's skinny ass with his Christmas boxers around his ankle, his ding dongs hanging out.
It's the three markets were like L.A., New York, and Orlando.
Yeah.
They were the biggest rating, and so they figured it out.
That's a fantastic story.
You know how it came to an end, right?
No.
We never told you this?
No, I don't think so.
We're going along.
Please,
We're doing fine and merry, no problem. It's Thursday, Strip for Thursday. Now, this was when we were in the old studio that had the big window facing out.
Right.
We would put tape up newspaper, so we didn't have people staring in.
You're a gentleman. You're be respectful.
Exactly. What a little privacy. You can see the pictures at WJR.com.
Like simultaneously, you're taking pictures and putting them on the internet. But you're like, let's put the newspaper up so everybody's comfortable.
Yeah, the one person in the studio behind us would say, "Hey, don't forget to tear me a little hole so I can look." I swear. I don't want to say who it was, but you'd look and you'd see an eye.
So, as luck would have it,
yes.
Linda Bird was giving a station tour to a group of Boy Scouts.
They might have even been Cub Scouts.
Or even Cub Scouts.
Younger.
I think it might have been Cub Scouts.
It actually helps you if they're a little bit younger. They may not know what's going on.
She's walking down the hall. She gets to the JRR, and she sees she's wasn't normally here, much less on this side of the building. At that time,
she's down on our end.
Yeah, she's down on the executive wing.
Sure.
So here she is down here during our show when this is going on, and the windows are covered. And the first thing, beautiful new studio. She's like, why in the world is there newspaper covering up this big bay window?
I can definitely hear her saying that. Yeah.
And
as
the investigation went on for, they're doing what?
Did she even come in to see like the carnage, or
no? She asked someone outside and told her, "Well, yeah, they're doing Stripper Thursday."
I like it when the executive sits you down in the office and then starts reading off what you did, and it's.
I like when they ask you what it is. Or they show you a picture of like Bob's boxers around his ankles. They're like, "What is this?"
Yeah. They're like, "Is this true?" On December 1st, 2004, that a stripper from Rachel's pulled out Taco Bob's. And then you put the picture on the internet.
And you blurred it with a vulture face.
Sounds about right.
You put a small vulture on it and you thought that was okay.
And then they're like, what were you thinking? You're like, it's the most popular thing we do.
Yeah, like it's literally
that's what we were paid for.
Yeah, boys, that's nice. You're going to be hung at dawn.
Yeah. Did you guys get a lot? You got a lot of trouble for that, didn't you?
That was the end of Stripper Thursday.
Oh, so you didn't? You just had to give up the bid.
That was
Okay. Well,
she was reasonable.
You could have.
Hold on.
Yeah, that is definitely a get fired scenario. I think.
If I'm the executive in charge of the money, and that's all I care about is the money. I'm like Stripper Thursday. It brings in a lot of attention and a lot of money. Who cares?
We weren't doing it unbeknownst to our direct superiors.
Yeah.
Right.
They knew what our program director knew what was going on. The sales, staff was selling it. It just
everybody fails on this one.
This
right?
is an ask forgiveness later
deal,
which is what it came to.
We did a lot of those too.
So much of that, which is funny too. I remember back in the radio days where I was doing all these stunts, right? Like at the Monster Jam and shit, jumping over.
I should say though, for the record, before we move on to that, no Cub Scouts were harmed in the in the discovery of our
I mean, obviously their safety was paramount at the time.
I'd let my sons watch that.
I trust Pat and Taco to know. They're both upstanding guys.
All right, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's all right. And so
I feel like Bob would take my daughter to safety during that. He's like, "Come over here, Maisie."
It's funny because people think in radio, like you're doing this stuff and you're talking about it on the air. So the audience thinks like, oh, for sure, everybody in the company knows you're doing it on the air. But if you think about it, like these executives, they're not listening to the show. They have so many different shows and things to do. Like a lot of things don't come to their attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I was doing those stunts, I remember like years into doing them that Crash, who used to work. He's still
he's still with the company. He's in Tampa, though.
I love Crash.
And I remember he wanted to do some, I think, demolition derby at the Monster Jam.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I want to do demolition derby, and then he made the mistake of asking. Speaking of asking for forgiveness, I've never asked anybody if I could do any of the stunts back in the day.
Crash also a little smarter than you two. I feel
when he asked, he's like, hey, can I do demolition derby? And then I think Linda Burr or some executive was like, are you kidding me? Absolutely not. You're an idiot. Like, our insurance only covers you walking out there, talking on the mic, you give away a key to a car or whatever. And then he's like, what? Drunkie's jumping gravedigger. And then she's like, and then it was
some things just aren't fair, Crash.
It was that's when it came to the attention to the executives and I've been doing this for years already, and they're like, you can't do it.
So you're blaming Crash.
Next year, still did it. I just never asked them. And then it's funny because people are like, no way that could happen. I'm like, I'm telling you it happened. Like, you a lot of times can get away with stuff just by doing it. And then if you have nothing to lose, which I didn't at the time, like, it didn't matter.
You said it, ask for forgiveness. You said it before. But if you think about the liabilities of the stuff that you were doing.
No, insane.
When you were Drunky the Bear, I know the stuff you were doing.
Well, you did some of it.
Yeah, but
you guys almost killed each other. And we've talked about the figure eight, but then somebody, and I won't even linger on this that long, and then somebody, like, recently after you guys did it, died. Doing the same thing.
I'm not surprised.
No, it was a law enforcement officer.
It was.
I forget the guy's name. I
thought he fell out of the bus and got run over.
To be fair, you had a helmet on, didn't you?
Yeah, now you got to help you. We did if the bus is tumbling your body.
It is insane what we did for $1 billion corporation, and that we got away with doing. I've always said I would, like, one day, if I ever have the time, I'll put together a documentary just to laugh about the absurdity.
He'll never put together the documentary
of the stuff we did. Like, even jumping gravedigger. Like, at one point, I moved up to a dirt bike, and then I was jumping 2 monster trucks. I had never even jumped a ramp in my life.
Harley, right? The goal was a Harley.
I didn't know what I was doing. No one, like, everybody just assumed I did. Like, Live Nation ran the goddamn monster. Like, they're a $1 billion corporation. Clear Channel at the time, $1 billion corporation, and they let some part-time employee didn't have insurance.
I was just going to say
you because they didn't know.
I was going to say nobody stepped in to say, "Hey, is this really a good idea?"
They never did, and he kept doing it and doing it. So every year they'd be, we got to cover.
There was a higher than, I'm not even exaggerating, a higher than 45% chance that I could have jumped that rail, like I'm jumping 50, 60 feet, and then fell through the like the rebar or all the metal tubing of gravedigger, paralyzed myself for sure. Like, I could have landed.
You would have bounced off of it and landed on your head, and then you can't walk.
And then imagine the lawsuit lawyer, if a local lawyer got a hold of him and be like, this guy is a part-time employee, you like, he's in front of 70,000 people, he was there for the walkthrough, you all knew.
Would you wear the bear suit in a wheelchair? Would you?
And then they
holding a big check.
Like, they got me.
I would have got millions for that. I would have been but think about it. Like, I could have legitimately had a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Bet people would have been fired for it. Like, the executives would have been fired.
I might have been fired.
Like, the ownership.
I was folding boxes for him.
Like, I was doing stuff at Do Action Sports Tour that was insanely dangerous. Going down, 16-foot. Or 20-foot half pipes. I had no idea what I was doing.
You went down the wakeboard rails and smashed your face.
Knocking myself unconscious. All this stuff. We're putting the videos up on the website. Like, look at all this ridiculous stuff.
You know why it all flew? Ratings and revenue.
That's the only. Didn't ask for it.
It's the only data they look at.
I brought up the liability I was getting at, not only for you, but didn't one of you guys' buddies bust his scrotum open doing something?
Yeah.
He ripped it.
He basically gave himself a vasectomy by pulling his testicles so long.
Yeah, he got long balls.
That it ripped his vas deferens.
Yeah.
And he had to get surgery. And he has 2 awesome kids now. He's also a big time executive now.
This guy is a big time Tampa executive.
He flies around in private jets to places.
He has beautiful kids kids, though, he had to
with my nuts.
He had to get him reattached.
We raised money to get for a surgery to get his vas deferens reattached so he could have kids with his wife because they were ripped apart.
We were there when his kids were conceived.
Also, on video is after he got him injured, is then they made him sign the waiver. The waiver.
Yeah. They're like, sign this real quick.
We put it in my stunt video, him signing the waiver with the ice on his balls, blood and stuff. And I'm like, if a lawyer got a hold of this, they'd be like, you can't make him sign the waiver after it. Like, it would have been thrown out
under duress.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they were long balls. They're like a foot long, man.
You pull a video back and there's a gun to his head.
Yeah. It's like the amount of
It was
potential...
while the paramedics were there, right? I remember that.
Yeah. What? The paramedics are there. The paramedics are laughing like, this guy got his balls.
They're like, look at how long his balls are.
We're going to have a story to tell.
And they were really long. Like, they'd been pulled long.
And I know we've told it before, but with Taco Bob in the figure eight bus race, like, because now you involve Taco Bob, full-time employee, and a bunch of interns / part-time.
What if you'd both died and you destroyed 2 morning shows? You know what I mean? Like, you tear the radio station apart.
Me, Whopper Jr., Tuttle in the back of this bus. Bob has no idea. He had no one training. The bus, there's no safety gear.
Had some redneck who wanted to kill you guys.
I had 10 beers before I even got behind the wheel.
We had beers in the back of the bus. We were drinking. And then, like, no one was supposed to be...
That's what Tuttle was like, there were beers rolling back and forth in the bus. You could hear them.
Could you imagine if one of us rolled out and got ran over by the bus? Which, by the way, it could happen.
Time.
Bob ran into, like, some bus, like, hey, I never ran into something. I'm going to run into this bus. We crashed into the back of it.
Bob's not messing around, man. He's not there to screw around.
And the guy, just imagine us all sitting in a courtroom. One of the, like, Tuttle died. And then,
Pat, would you come and sit in the gallery at the courtroom? Would you sit back there with me?
Everybody would have got fired.
Elbowing each other.
Me and Pat are sitting back there watching you guys on trial.
I mean, a multi-million-dollar wrongful death lawsuit for sure. Like the lawyers would have been like, this is such an easy case to, like, it's
open and shut.
How did this happen? Like, and we're all just sitting there like, I don't know.
There's a statute of limitations on this shit, right?
There is. It's all over.
Dude,
It looked like 15, 20 damn years ago.
I looked, because I don't think there was a rear view mirror. I looked back like this as I'm driving into somebody probably, and I see Tuttle and Drunky and all them bouncing off walls back with
They're trying to grab beers.
And I'm like, it's badass, isn't it?
Other radio stations had to have been doing crazy like that back and getting away with it. You know,
I think other places were doing it, but, like, I don't know. I think Florida's got a different vibe.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Like, you know, there was a time where you would just do as much crazy stuff as you could think of for ratings and stuff, and like looking at the lawsuit potential, which is odd to me because there were lawsuits back then too. And as a giant corporation, that's all you protect yourself from is like
exposure.
Exposure lawsuits. So, like, sitting back as an executive, I'd be worried myself. I'd be like, these guys are going to get me fired because if
you're going to shut it down.
I'm going to shut this down.
Yeah. I'm surprised the guy that we hit. Well, I hit. I can't bring it, but that put his hand through a window.
Yeah,
remember, and he wanted to kill me. I'm surprised he didn't. He was a Southern boy. He didn't really.
He also had 10 beers too. Yeah. That's the 10 beer rule. I've had 10 and you've had 10.
He got to be on TV though, so
yeah, that's right.
No, I remember. Yeah, but you're right. Like now, it seems like like a lawyer would have definitely been contacted that guy and be like, "You need to sue this billion-dollar corporation for letting one of his employees almost killed you." But it's insane. We all got away with it. It is nuts.
Guys,
Pat and Taco, thanks so much.
Appreciate you guys giving us the time in your home on our show.
Thanks for letting us.
That's when you know we love you guys. Thank you for everything, and good luck with everything. And whenever you want to pop by our studio, let us know.
Yep.
All right.
Same always.
Thank you, fellas.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got John Graham in studio.
Hey!
Howdy.
For the very popular segment, What's in My Mouth?
I don't have a song.
I was going to ask, no song this time?
No song. I've been working on it all morning. I had some new lyrics that I was going to do. It was taking a turn. Okay, hold on. I'll give you one. You know what? I'm gonna go rogue here, and I'm going to give you one. Let me load this up. I do have one that may or may not. It might be too spicy for the show, but hey, you let me worry about that. I think let's go with this one right here. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Put it in your mouth, you little pig. Put it in your mouth, you little piggy. Here comes my D.
No, come on.
And then I edited it.
You saved the day.
I got it. I'm a broadcasting hero.
Now, John, if in the future...
Because John's so mild-mannered, I feel the need to make all of his intros very aggressive and shocking.
By the way, when you have some cereal here, and
I got 3 boxes.
You have a lot of stuff. Because
you came prepared today.
This segment has gotten so popular, now you're doing it on TV shows? Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Let's also, I'd like to point out that we have a lot of people that are in the Tom and Dan multiverse. We have so many cast of characters and friends of the show, and you are one person that actually puts effort into what you do.
Well,
EJ does it.
Game Show Drew.
Okay, Drew does it, and Cadillac Pat. 3 people. You, Game Show Drew, and Cadillac Pat all work hard at what you do. You work the hardest. EJ, nothing.
The least.
The least. EJ, look at this segment. If you want to see what to do and take it to the next level, this leads into what our next topic is, that John has now syndicated this segment and now has elevated it to television. Tell us about it.
Yeah, just yesterday was the first time I was on the Daily Flash, which runs around the country, but it shoots here in town. I think it's an hour long. Yeah, it's an hour long.
Should have known that.
I know exactly.
You sound like EJ.
You just said I do a great job, and I
you're just like EJ. You're all just like EJ.
Our buddy Mitch English is the host.
Our buddy.
Andrea Jackson's the other co-host.
He doesn't even know who you are. That's my buddy.
No, we come as a pair. They know Tom and Dan. If they know Dan, they know Tom.
Did you know Orlando City wanted me to do halftime announcements, and they wanted me to do it alone? They were like, "No, Tom, this time." We had him before. That's a true story. They called and they're like, "Hey, Dan, do you want to do halftime announcements?" I'm like, "I'm on speakerphone with Tom," and they're like, "Oh, crap!"
They got all awkward. They're like, "Oh,
hey, Tom, we're cool too. Hey, hey, Tom, what are you doing here? Tom, might be a good time to go to the bathroom while we talk to Dan."
I like when someone involves me in an awkward situation where they think it will hurt my feelings, but there's no hurting my feelings.
There's not.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it is. So you were on the Daily Flash.
Yeah, which if people haven't seen it, it's kind of like a morning chat show.
All right.
Nice.
They have guests, and you just cover the headlines and stuff like that. And so they had me in. They didn't call it "What's in my mouth." They called it "What did I just eat?"
Oh,
okay. All right.
So it's completely different.
It's a little clunkier. I'd say their name is a little clunkier, maybe a little less inventive, but that's fine. I mean. All of everybody that's successful takes something that's truly unique at one point and waters it down to something else.
Yeah. Did they accuse you of inserting your DNA and everything?
No, I don't. It's only been once, but I don't recall that
all
happening.
Of the songs, I like to imagine that you right before you open the door to our studio. I mean, you're just dragging them on everything. Everything.
Yeah. And I wanted to be because of some we wronged you back in the day,
and we didn't even know we wronged you. And you've been holding this for 20 years to get back at us.
What if he?
This is like a Nico Avocado thing, whatever his name is.
Nico Avocado. Yeah,
the long game.
Yeah. I'm always
I've
2
been
steps
playing.
Yeah,
the long.
You watch Nico Avocado. Yeah.
I stopped for about a year and a half.
2 steps ahead. He's always 2 steps ahead.
What if he Scooby Doo rips off his mask?
Oh my God,
John the Alarm Guy.
Oh my God.
And they're like, you didn't even change your first name?
I was like, oh my God. I was like, do you owe us money? Let's settle up these bills for. Okay. All right. So how did it go? Were they receptive to what am I eating?
Yeah, I took in one of the foods I brought to you guys a year ago, which was ice cream from Salt and Straw that has bugs in it for Halloween, chocolate-covered crickets and stuff like that.
Oh, my God.
That's what I was going to say that surprised me when you're like, oh, I brought this in, but I did it a year ago, so,
We've been doing this for a year?
Yeah, exactly. A year!
I know.
I thought you had done 2 or 3 in the past.
We've done 80 versions of no, okay. I don't know.
I can't believe it's been a year.
I don't know, 8 times, 9 times, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot longer than I thought.
Well,
time goes by.
I'm glad it went well. The idea is to syndicate this out to even more. If you have a TV show or a radio show where you would like, and you better pay it. better pay him.
Yeah.
To come out there. Because he spends, a lot of people don't know that you spend a lot of money on all the food you bring here, and then Tom and I hoard it and bring it home to our families. Yeah, we take it and bring it home to our families like poor radio people do. Okay.
All right. So let's start.
So we kind of blew right past it. So the concept is new foods that are in grocery stores and fast food places and stuff like that.
Sure.
I've tracked them down. So one of the first things I did, I think October was the first one I did a year ago. Frankenberry, Count Chocula, Boo Berry, Fruit Brute, and Screamin' Creeper, Carmen Creeper. Those are the cereals that they only reappear around Halloween now. They used to be, when we were kids, Frankenberry was around all year round.
Yeah.
Now it's only for the holidays. And this year, the big deal is to put marshmallows in them.
Okay. All right. So they changed it up with Frightful Friends marshmallows. Mm-hmm. This is, I've got,
so
this is the one
essentially Lucky Charms, right?
I guess
different flavors. Like that one's caramel apple flavored. Frankenberry's, of course, strawberry flavored.
Yeah, with the
chocolate.
marshmallows, let's see, marshmallow shapes. They kind of look like worms. You got some worms in here. You got some snakes.
All right.
Yeah, this is Monsters Have Pets Too. Meet the Monster Crew's Frightful Friends. So they have, like, now all the different guys. So, like, okay, so I'll explain it to you. Frankenberry now has a bat marshmallow companion named Benny.
All right.
And then the Wolfman or Count Chocula has Igor.
Tell me a bedtime story, Daddy.
And then we have Boo Berry has Meowberry, and then Carmela has a snake pet named Scratch. So there you go.
And I bet those are the marshmallows?
Yeah, those are the marshmallows. I'll hand that to you.
I know this is a nerdy question,
Please.
But is there any nutrition in there at
surprisingly,
all?
yeah. I mean, they put them, they add them.
Yeah, no,
they spray them. They got the spray on vitamins.
Fortified with vitamins and minerals.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
They just spray some vitamins on them, right?
Speaking of that, you like that segue there? I actually brought in Cheerios for you, a new Cheerios called Cheerios Veggie Blends. Grab a fistful of those, and this is banana blueberry flavored, but see if it.
Okay, hold on.
Don't look at the front of the box and see if you can tell me what the three vegetables
but
in there
I'll hold
are.
it so the camera
Tom
can
seems
see
to be
it.
looking.
Well, okay, because I'm constantly looking for ways that I can give nutrition to my sons. Because just like a lot of kids, not every kid, some kids, and by the way, you're bragging if you're like, my kid will eat sushi and everything an adult eats. I'm like, yeah, I mean, come on.
I mean, my kid won't do. She eats a lot, but not everything. I mean, she gets picky sometimes. I mean, kids are kids.
Yeah. And I'm looking.
But you're talking about the beanie. You're talking about the thrift store beanie families where they're like, where they'll hand their kids something super sophisticated.
Oh yeah, like my kid will eat squid.
Go eat, go eat your urchin. And the kid's like eating it.
How is he?
You're right. They love bragging about that.
They only eat mac and cheese. And,
or if your kid can sit alone without an iPad and not act like an animal, and you're like, oh yeah, he loves to meditate. Just shut up. Get out of here.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
So obviously there's vegetable powder, so obviously not as good for you as eating.
These are terrible.
Vegetables.
These are straight trash. They're terrible, John.
I kind of like the blueberry banana part.
The blueberry flavor to me, it's bad. It tastes. I can't do it. I can't do that. I like regular old plain no sugar cereal. No, dry.
Just cardboard.
Cardboard. My dad used to, but my dad used to do it differently. He would do a bowl of Cheerios, and then like 6 or 10 scoops of sugar, big tablespoons right on the top.
So, John.
Yes.
My wife constantly talks about like, oh, you need to eat.
Yeah, you've been cheating on me again. I can smell that whore on your neck.
She's like, you have to eat whole foods and all this stuff.
But does she eat all whole foods?
And no.
Okay. Don't let her do anything if she's not doing it.
And I'm like, what does it matter if the vitamins come in a Flintstone shape or an actual fruit or vegetable?
Well,
it's still the vitamins.
The fiber is what she's probably talking about.
No, she's
There's
talking about
more benefits in the raw food because it's more than just vitamins.
Oh, yeah, I know the fiber, but you could put that in a powder form, too. All I'm saying is,
take it every morning.
Can you just put everything in powder?
All powders.
Because it's in your
Do you like
body.
powders?
What
Are you a powder man? We like powders.
You're crunching.
Powdered veggies. I'm not really a.
It's all just a mush.
They're okay. They're a supplement, but I wouldn't like eating powdered vegetables is not going to take the place of eating broccoli once in a while.
Yeah. Well, why? I think it's scientifically the same.
We got to get there.
It's in.
I hate broccoli. It is.
I'm into broccoli.
I despise broccoli. I hate it so much.
It's just a mush in your stomach, and your intestines are leaching out the tiny
I think it's the process, though.
The vitamins, yeah, but it's like the difference between like eating an apple and drinking a glass of apple juice.
Well, I know there's more sugar in it, but
and less fiber.
Or it goes back to fiber.
But I think we discount the process, and I'm not sure on what exactly I'm going to say here. But it's like if there's broccoli in your stomach, the process that your stomach has to go through to digest that raw food of broccoli, to me, it would make sense that they get more nutrients out of it than just some sort of a powder, because the powder is going to be dried. So automatically, just because it's dried, if it has a half-life like anything else, it's not going to be as potent, it's not going to be as concentrated, there's not going to be as many other benefits. Maybe just the process of your stomach doing what it's supposed to do with real broccoli is how you leach more vitamins. I don't know. That's just my thought.
Imagine if we had a real smart person here instead of us three.
I know. I don't even know what that means, but that's just what I think.
It's in your body, turns the doo-doo. Yeah. It's all the same.
A mush pie. What else we got?
Let's see. Oh, here, let's just dive into... Well, actually, here, there's stuff on your table there that's warm food, so let's dive into the Taco Bell.
Warm food?
So Taco Bell's been publicizing... I
haven't had a warm meal all week. You hear that, Andrea?
Taco Bell's been publicizing through the end of the month now, the double-decker taco is back.
Oh, the double-decker taco is the best taco they ever made.
And for me, they're perfect because they're great for driving. Like, eat a regular taco in your car, it explodes everywhere. But it's what they do for folks who've never seen them before. They take a regular Taco Bell taco and then take a flour tortilla, put a little bean on it, and then kind of wrap that around. So if you eat it in your car, it's not going to fall everywhere because you kind of got a wrapper around your taco. And then Dan's looking at, there's a new hot sauce Taco Bell has from Omar Apollo, who was nominated for Best New Artist for the Grammys a few years ago. I've already forgotten the name of the hot sauce.
It's called
Dish-A-Hot.
Dish-A-Hot.
Dish-A-Hot. This is actually his family's recipe.
Sir!
It's actually a recipe from his family. It's not that hot. I mean, it's a little spicy, but it adds a lot of flavor. If you want to give that a try and see what you think of that.
So they partnered with Omar Apollo, who, by the way, I have no idea. I've never heard the name.
And he's more of a Spotify kind of musician than like Billboard Top 40 musician.
Okay,
gotcha.
Right.
And
squirt a little of this on there.
And by the way, I love when like big corporations, like we've partnered with Omar to come up with a recipe for a new hot sauce. Literally, all Omar did was sign the paperwork for the Indulge.
Actually, to be fair, I mean, you're right in a lot of cases. In this case, his family was already making this hot sauce. It's his mom's recipe, and then he's selling it to Taco Bell.
You shut your fat mouth, Tom.
Yeah, but still.
But still.
That's what everybody else online does. But still, there should be more of this. It's wholesome. Or people say, I don't care if it's fake. I like it.
I don't believe the corporation, John. I don't believe that they just used whatever close enough. Anyway, all right. But I got to give it to Taco Bell because they have used the same, let's say, 15 ingredients.
I think you're being nice there.
And different combinations to make different things for their entire history.
Yeah.
And it's like,
good.
The double-decker taco, which is the same thing. We just put the
just
crunchy,
add some beans.
You put the crunchy shell inside the soft shell, and now you got a whole new thing.
That's pretty good.
There's a rumor that the next promotion they're bringing back they've been testing this in California. They're going to bring back, do you remember when Taco Bell had tostadas?
Oh, I used to love the tostadas.
They're bringing back tostadas. They're bringing back the Mexi Melt. These are all limited time.
Dude, Mexi Melt.
If it really happens.
I didn't mean to call you dude. Mexi Melt was my jam.
Oh, Mexi Melts are the best.
It's just meat and tomatoes.
And they're pico de gallo.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like, if you try and go to a Taco Bell now, they always say you can customize everything on the screen there in the restaurant. And they have pico de gallo. They have the tortillas. They have the cheese. But if you try and put those all together with the taco meat, they won't. Last time I tried, they wouldn't let you do that. So which is kind of funny because it's literally like Tom said,
good, right?
All stuff they have in the restaurant, but it's hard to get a Mexi Melt.
This is going to make some people mad. All hot sauces are basically the same, and I haven't.
No way. Yeah, no. That's just
see, this one's like tomatillos.
All hot sauces are basically the same to a moron. It's not. No,
I mean you got the extra hot ones, but if you give me a blunt,
there's a bunch of different flavors.
But I mean, you think that just tastes like peppers?
An Asian hot sauce is completely different.
That doesn't taste like
this
Tabasco.
One's more peppery, and this one's got more of a roasted vegetable flavor. Yep. than like your standard, your other hot sauces that you have?
I can't taste the roasted vegetables.
I know you can. This isn't for you. This isn't for
I got a dumb tongue. Everything is kind of, again, it's all mush in my stomach.
But you got to really concentrate on it. You got to really, like when you bite into it, you got to.
I'm concentrating. I'm thinking as hard as I can. It's all the same. Anyway, sorry, John.
Well, if you want to wash that down, I've got on your tables there the Coke Zero Oreo flavor.
All right.
Okay. This we're just running out of ideas now, right? Coke Zero.
So we got Coke Zero that tastes like Oreos, and the next we'll have Oreos that taste like Coca-Cola.
Okay, all right. Why are we doing this again?
Now, the...
Kills time on the air.
No, not us. No, I love having you here. Okay, John, that's fine. I didn't mean to rattle.
Why are you here?
John, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to... It wasn't directed at you. I'm talking about the flavoring. No one has ever thought, other than somebody wacky, like, you know what would taste good? A drinkable Oreo. That sounds like something you would say hi to your friend.
That's like an astronaut food or something.
The person
it smells really good.
But it does seem like the person who did say that doesn't care about 0 calories. So, which is odd. It's like, we're going to make a 0 calorie product that tastes like Oreos.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a rumor that there's a full sugar version available in Mexico.
There is. I've seen it. Yeah, there is. I've seen it.
It kind of smells like Oreos.
It smells like an Oreo.
All right, let me drink it.
And I would say sit with it. Take your first sip and then let that kind of mellow and then take a second one. I'm sure this is never how Coca-Cola would promote this. I actually end up tasting it more after about 30 seconds, which I will politely call the burp.
You do.
Oreos.
It does taste like... it's funny.
That's witchcraft right there.
It tastes like the outside of an Oreo.
Tastes like the outside of an Oreo.
Not the cream filling.
No.
But like if you lick the outside.
There is a sweetness to it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of vanilla or something in there.
Yeah, there is a hint of vanilla, but you can taste that chocolate cookie. That's weird. That's witchcraft. Now, what are these?
These are actually Oreos that taste like Coca-Cola.
Okay.
It's like a double thing. They intentionally put them both out at the same time.
We're going to mess with your senses. All right.
These, they have the little popping rocks, like non-branded pop rocks in there to give you the little carbonation crackle.
Okay.
These, I really taste, because most colas are really 3 flavors. They just blend them together so you can't really differentiate. It's cinnamon, vanilla, and citrus.
Okay.
And so, I can really taste the citrus in these cookies.
Me too. Mm-hmm. It's like they put too much citrus in the cream.
That does taste like a Coke. Which, again, is something that I feel society didn't really want.
No.
Now, if you drink your Oreo soda, it takes your Coke-flavored Oreo and makes it back into an Oreo.
Okay.
I'm afraid to try dunking one because you might hit the singularity.
I've never been a dunking Oreo guy, but my dad would. My dad was an Oreo guy, and he would just do a full sleeve of Oreos.
Mm-hmm. Those Pop Rocks are
it is. It's
off-putting.
Yeah, it is off-putting. Yeah, I've never understood the Pop Rocks and the Oreo, but they do it a lot. Okay, that's good. I like those.
Let's see how much time we got.
Yeah,
I can keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. Power through.
I only have one bag of these. So last time I was in, I brought in ramen that was supposed to taste like s'mores, and that was pretty awful, right? Do we agree?
But I will say that you were the first person to break that story, and then I saw it everywhere.
I'm so proud.
It was everywhere. The s'mores ramen.
Well, last time I was in,
are you gonna throw up?
Because they were an exclusive to Walmart.
He's gonna throw up.
No. I was thinking about I have to immediately work out afterwards. And I'm gonna have an accident in my pants.
All right, we'll be all right.
So yeah, last time I was here, s'mores flavored ramen. Which, by the way, last time I was in Walmart usually has a discontinued. We're getting rid of this stuff section on discount, and I saw some of the ramen in there. So if anybody really wants them, go check that section of your Walmart. I brought in Funyuns that taste like ramen.
See, I think that's going to be good because it's salt.
Yeah.
This is going to be great. This is going to be the best thing you brought all day.
Yeah,
I can guess this.
Specifically, this is called Funyuns. I assume you say it Maruchan. A hot and spicy chicken ramen flavored. Funyuns.
Those are fine all day long.
Okay,
that's normal.
Yeah, keep the salt with the salt.
That'll fix you.
So what kind of picture is? I think they're regular Funyuns with
You're better after that.
Like the dusty spice packet that comes in Funyun kind of Funyuns. Comes in ramen kind of coating the outside.
It's not my favorite. Mm-hmm. It does taste like ramen, but it does taste like a normal Funyun, which set my mouth back to normal because you were screwing with me a little bit with the Coca-Cola Oreos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when you start dusting some cinnamon on the Funyuns, then I'm like, God, get the hell out of here.
That's a thing now.
I need some salty powder.
No, they're doing that. Like if you go down the chip aisle, you'll see like dessert chips. I want to punch them all. I want to start pulling them off the shelves.
Well, you remember when Taco Bell, though, used to have the cinnamon Crispas?
Those are good. Mm-hmm. Those are good. But I'm talking about, like, they take something, they're like, oh, look, we took, like, regular potato chips and, like, sprayed Snickers all over them. I'm like, that's un-American. Like, I don't feel like that should be allowed in some weird way.
All right,
Those are great.
I got two more. We got time for two more?
Yeah.
All right, so retro sours. Do you remember around 2001, Altoids put out a thing in these little round metal cans that I think they just called them Altoid sours. There were like 3 different flavors.
People loved them.
Yeah. And then after about 10 years, they just discontinued them. So people have been wanting them all this time. So there's a company that buys up or tries to duplicate products that have been discontinued. Like there was a candy bar called the Bar None. That's not around anymore. They make it.
All right.
Tea-berry gum. You ever remember? That's like grandma gum. Tea-berry gum. It's got a weird flavor.
Grandma gum. That's what I call my wife's panties. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds disgusting. But I don't know. It means nothing.
And so this is those here. The Florida humidity got to them a little bit.
Oh, that's okay.
But right now, the only place I've been able to find them is at Cracker Barrel.
You keep these in your slingshot and it got rained on? You know he's a slingshot?
You have a slingshot?
Yeah, that's all he rides
Polaris
around.
slingshot?
A Polaris slingshot. That's all he rides in. He carries all this stuff in the back of his slingshot.
So it's from a company called Iconic Candy, and it's retro sours. Wow, because I think compared to some sour candies today, that's not that bad.
That is sour.
Yeah, that got me.
And this one's the mango flavor. Here, I'll eat a couple.
That's way more sour than I thought.
So you went into Cracker Barrel to buy this into the store?
Actually, I went in 3 times because they didn't have them the first 2 times.
No.
Wow.
They don't have it on their website or anything? Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel, how much do they... I want to be, in my older age... Mm-hmm. Also, I want to do a podcast with a sucking candy in my mouth. That's always been a dream of mine. I want to be the little old lady that my job is just to keep children from knocking over the snow globes and all of the Bret Michaels and Toby Keith's piss cutter hat that are in there. You know, they always have like all kinds of crazy stuff in there, and I want to be in charge of the gift shop. That's probably a pretty coveted job, though, right?
Well,
got to work your way up to it.
I'm not sure what's worse, being the actual server or the gift shop.
No, gift shop's way better.
Yeah, I guess you just have to stand there, but you do have to, like...
Occasionally you got to go over and be like, please stop playing with the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
You got to go over there.
And the toy section, and then I'm sure the kids,
you got to wipe down all the slide whistles. Everybody's been mouthing them. You're mouthing all my slide whistles. You yell at some people.
And then I used to let my sons just finger all the candies. I'm like, I don't know.
You can lick them. I don't know. They're free candies.
I bet they don't get any tips, though.
Probably not.
And last
one. They do get little embroidered stars on their aprons, and that makes up for it.
But just as good as money.
Last one. Well, I do have a bag. I brought you a bunch of stuff. If you want to fill time, we can always grab some more out of that box. But I have icebreakers. You've seen those little square gum.
My daughter loves icebreakers.
This is icebreakers shifters. It's wild berry to cool mint.
That's too much.
So here, you want to start, Tom?
What is a good old spearmint?
So the berry goes away pretty fast. Like within the first 5 seconds, you get berry, and then it transitions into cool mint, as they say.
Yeah, I don't like shape-shifting gum. You want to give that back to your buddy?
Sure.
I was just at the dentist the other day, get my teeth cleaned, and they asked me, they're like, "Oh, we're going to do some fluoride treatment." Which, by the way, I have no idea what that even does.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Which flavor will you want? Do you want?"
I want it to taste like fluoride.
Well, they had like They're like, "Do you want marshmallow, wacky berry?" And they went through all these.
We made our kids too soft. You see that?
Or
we
spearmint.
made a whole pack of wacky berries out there. This is why the world's in shambles.
And I'm like, I'm a grown man. I'm like, have you had any other grown men choose the marshmallow? If you did, you should get the hell out of here.
They do.
Who doesn't just take the damn spearmint?
My dentist doesn't ask me anymore. I just get orange. Every time.
Orange is the worst.
I hate it.
You get the spearmint.
That's pretty good.
That's what dentists should always have.
Now, I'm a little older than you guys. When I got fluoride treatments as a kid, it was torture. It was like some gooey liquid you put in your mouth. It was orange flavored, but it was purple for some reason.
Okay.
And it burned.
Whoa.
And nobody else, like, I hear people today like, oh, yeah, I love going because it tastes so good when they leave it, and I was just like, oh, God, it was like literally, I'm going to throw up if I don't get it out of my
We had
mouth.
a swish. I went to private school for my elementary, and the hippie moms would come in like once a week on like a Tuesday, and there'd be the one hippie mom, and she'd come in because I guess she was like our mom. What do you call that? A teacher's mom? A helper.
No, okay,
and there'd be little Dixie cups with a little bit of green liquid, like fluoride, and we'd like take a break, and then they'd hand all the cups out, and then we'd take our fluoride, and you'd have to swish it for like 1 minute. You'd watch the clock, and then you spit it back into the cup, and then set it on the thing, and that was your fluoride treatment.
That's how, in school?
In school. We did that. I don't know if anybody else had that, if anybody else knows what I'm referencing, but yeah, we got it in school.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was a different time.
Yeah.
I mean, there was race riots.
We're not race riots. They're using hoses to keep the colored children out of the schools.
Yeah. I have no idea. Different generation.
And when you were in elementary school, did they give you the little red tablets to chew on to see where the plaque was on your teeth?
No, my mom wouldn't let me use those.
Okay.
My dentist would give me those, and then my mom would like, don't do that. That's trashy.
Yeah, I went to elementary school in the late 80s and then transferred over to the early 90s, so they were already, futuristic back then.
Yeah. With
just a
word
little
processor. Yeah,
space teeth.
We're looking right into the eye of the future.
Let's do one more.
I should grab some out of the bag there. Whatever you think.
Let's do one more.
All right, hold on. John's going to give me the choice.
If anybody wants to see more of my nonsense, that guy on TV.com.
That guy on TV.com.
I actually got the clip of Daily Flash.
Oh, send that to us. We'll throw it up there. I'll throw it on our social to get it some more heat.
All right, I've got some sunflower seeds.
Dude, go
that
with
are
Bigs.
Taco Bell flavored.
Go with Bigs. Go with the Bigs.
The big sunflower seeds?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, here we go. These are, the only reason I like these, and these are Taco Supreme, Taco Bell flavored sunflower seeds. All the baseball guys talk about Bigs.
Okay, all right.
And there's another company that our buddy Jesse Wolf is working with. Remember he talked about the sunflower seed company,
seeds? Yeah.
That he's working with that's going after Bigs. So this is what he's going after. These are Taco Supreme flavored.
Now, again, when I eat sunflower seeds, I usually eat them in the car because then you can just spit them out the window.
Oh, I like that. So you're supposed to take a handful of them and put them in your mouth and then like chew them.
Yep. And then
just a pinch between your cheek and gum.
And then you spit out the shells. Yep. That's
unless you're a blue jay.
I'm going to start doing it all over the studio.
You just spit them out on the floor like Roadhouse.
Yeah, like
okay, yeah,
that's pretty good, right?
I taste
a lot of sodium. You better run.
I taste the Taco Bell. Weird that they had the Taco Bell Supreme because the Supreme has
sour cream. Yeah, there's milk in this.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna throw up on your run. Inside each sunflower seed, there's a little bit of sour cream.
I get it with the sunflower seeds with the baseball players because they like
I'm dropping them everywhere.
They like chewing tobacco. They like spitting stuff out, putting it. It's more of like a time waster.
Yeah.
But who buys them? Like I know you just said you're.
Oh, they're buying the boxes. Like when you look at a dugout at a major league, like any major league park, if they're having a game, if you look in the dugout, there's probably like 100 bags. That's what I had to do too. You have to puke them out. Just puke them out. And you'll see like 100 bags of sunflowers down there.
I'd say I've gone through a couple of sunflower seed runs in my life. Like buy a lot of them for 3 or 4 months and then don't eat them for a few years.
Yeah,
it just seems like that.
I do that with ladies of the night. I get an insatiable thirst, and then I have to swear them off.
Like the average Joe, that you're not getting much from the sunflower seed.
It's the salt.
It's just just want to get it salted.
You get the salt, and it's just the salt. It kills time. It is something to do. Right. I mean, you could be Baker Mayfield, be popping Zins. When are you going to bring some Zins by?
Oh, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, did you see him doing that on the sideline?
No, there are Zins, the
nicotine pouches.
Can you still buy flavored ones here? Like I know in California they've got laws where they only have to sell.
I know Baker Mayfield's got them. I'll see him on Sunday. Maybe he'll give me a Zin.
There a lot of workout guys like the nicotine because they say it enhances you. Not only gives you better workouts, but also gives you better cognitive ability.
I agree.
Which is a nice way of saying you're wired.
I mean, before I go to Curves, I do an ammonia sniff, and then I load up with sunflower seeds and caffeine, and then I go to Curves and I do some light stretching and some step up.
Well, John, what do you got going on this weekend or for Halloween? What do you do for Halloween?
Yeah,
let's see. Well, I haven't done it this year. I'm one of those guys who buys the full-size Snickers bars.
Oh, okay.
And then I usually have a few there's always going to be some kid who can't eat peanuts, so I'll buy something else for that.
Oh, you should ridicule him.
And then last year, 2 years running, I've done this. I also buy those like mini packs of oh shoot! What's the cinnamon liqueur? Why can't I pull it?
Oh, Fireball.
You can buy the little ones. You got to go to the liquor store. Don't go to the gas station. You'll get the terrible. You've seen that there's 2 versions of Fireball.
Yeah, but that's a knockoff version.
Yeah. Well, it's branded Fireball, but so they can sell in gas stations.
You gotta have.
No, it's just for gas stations that don't have liquor licenses.
Yeah. You go in there, you can get anything in there. So like you get a one hitter in there.
So you hand out do you have a lot of people go to your house?
Not a lot. I mean, I did before the pandemic. I got a few more. So some people I just don't think. Well, actually, you're the ones with kids. I see those things where people just like, what's the one where you go trick or treating out of the trunks of cars? Have you seen that?
I don't like that. I don't like trunk or treat.
That's not the thing.
Yeah.
I know other people that we know do it. I support.
I understand why people do it, but I also understand why
white people do it. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Or why people? It's a white person thing. Yeah. Trunk or treat is lame.
Yeah. It's because everybody's so paranoid. They're like, we can't be going to
you know what's
house
worse?
to house.
You know what's worse is when we used to have to do it in the office. And then people bring their kids around. I'm like, oh, God.
No, the radio station?
Yeah. I'd be like, they're like, clean this place up. Put your pornography away. Children are coming up here to trick or treat. And I'm like, this is a place of business. Tell them to stay home.
What's the worst thing you ever got trick or treat? And I remember one year somebody was giving away, I don't know if they must still make them. It's like the individually wrapped, they're breadsticks, but they're like crackers. Somebody was giving away those. And then one house was giving away toothbrushes.
Yeah, the dentists always give away toothbrushes. I feel like that's like just to disrupt the system somehow. I don't like that.
The worst thing that happened to me is I got molested.
Yeah, you win. Yeah. You win.
I did get kidnapped.
I laugh about it now. It's fun. What did I say?
That's the night. Halloween's the night I went out to trick or treat, and then my dad died. I never got to say goodbye because I was too busy getting that sweet, sweet candy. Anyway.
Thatguyontv.com is your website.
Yes, sir.
And if you want to hire John Graham for your local TV
I like
show,
that idea.
radio show.
We got to get you out to more of our stuff, too, just hanging out. Next time we have an event, if you're free, you should just come hang out.
I'm surprised no other radio. We were just at the radio station. Mm-hmm. They are dying for people to come give them free segments.
Yeah. That place is wide open, by the way. You can walk right in. So no security, no nothing. We're like, wow, what is this place? They've really changed things up there.
I forgot. Did you guys know, this is years ago, but I used to I was a DJ on weekends for 3 years at WLOQ.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're doing the smooth jazz.
Yeah. Smooth jazz and more.
Whoa, you got that voice.
That was you. That was you. Oh, me and Andrea. I'll boof my wife. WLOQ. I'll give her it.
What's the difference between regular jazz and smooth jazz?
Well, smooth jazz is smoother than your standard regular. No, regular covers a lot of stuff. Smooth jazz is particularly like it's
definitely got the edges sanded off. But
Dave Koz.
Yeah. Huge Groove, Mindy Abair. Oh, I could keep going.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have all of them. But I put it on for my dog. He loves it. Dan Smith loves smooth jazz.
It's a joke, but you used to hear it a lot in doctors' offices, and now it just, I don't even know if there must be a satellite radio station of smooth jazz. But
some of my favorite satellite radio stations are the ones that play stuff that you shouldn't be listening to. Like there is a channel on Sirius XM. I'll give you two that are great. One is called Escape, and it's all the music of Lawrence Welk, and it's awesome. If you just want to chill out, it's all instrumentals, and they're crazy songs. They're crazy. They're bananas. Great musicians. And the other one is called Grown Folk Vibes.
All right.
And Grown Folk Vibes is all like grown-up black people funk.
Okay.
It's like what older black people think all black people should be listening to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Gap Band and and real good Motown and a lot of stuff that's been sampled, like Oops Upside Your Head.
Gotcha.
That was Snoop's Upside Your Head. They used that to sample that particular song. So it's a lot of stuff that you're going to know the song because it's been sampled, but they're going to show you that it was the original Motown or funk or it's cool. It's a good channel. Grown folks vibes.
It's like what yacht rock is to white people.
Correct.
It's okay.
Yeah. And you get some crossover too. There will be some yacht rock on grown folks vibes. It's not specific to race. It's just it is like predominantly rooted in Motown.
Yeah.
100%. But that channel rules because you get stuff that you're not going to hear anywhere else.
Well, John Graham, thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate it. And we will take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome to the 2024 Tom and Dan Halloween special on location in Castle Bagel. Oh,
Castle Bagel? Castle Bagel. Bagel. Castle Bagel. You were doing. Hold on. Let's analyze this for a second. Because he was doing it so pro. He's like, we are on location in the middle of Casabaggy. Castleberry plus Casadega.
Yeah. Well, because I went to Casadega, and then I thought
Castleberry. He's been warring with the city of Castleberry for close to 15 years now, I feel like.
So, if you heard that voice, we have Tuttle with us.
Hey!
Oh, you got my name right.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Fowler, the number one stuntman of radio of all time, right?
Tuttle, why are you dressed like Doc Brown?
He's dressed like Doc Brown.
I didn't tell you to put on a Halloween costume.
It's a brand new costume, too, fresh out of the package.
You're attracting attention to us.
You really are. I just peed. You know how hard it is to pee on the side of the road while Doc Brown's standing over you?
Okay, so we've done a lot of Halloween specials in the past. Of course, we started at Greenwood Cemetery. Yeah. We did that a bunch of times.
And we really effed that out hard. Like, we did that. We did it to the point where the last time we did it, I think we just had the sexton walking around out there just telling stories about his family. Don Price was just walking around telling us, like, I had a good Thursday. I had a turkey sandwich for lunch. I went to 2J's.
All right, then we did one in downtown Orlando. Yeah. We did one in Church Street.
We did one in Sanford with Scary Gary. Yeah, not our best work. Not our best work. That was not our best work.
So, since we started the Tom and Dan Halloween special, I've always thought about Casadega.
We always start things that never end, like the intro to ACT. We switch it up every single day. And then we're like, why did we do this? And now we've started a Halloween special that seemingly will go on until we stop broadcasting, and we've run out of things to do on the Halloween special. We have nothing left to do.
Well, this is the most famous Halloween spooky attraction in Florida, technically.
And it is smack dab in the middle of where myself and my good friend Patrick Fowler grew up. You grew up in Pearson.
No, I grew up in DeLeon Springs.
DeLeon Springs. Sorry.
I went
Close
to Pearson.
Close to Pearson.
We all grew up in Volusia County with stories about Casadega, though, right? Like, when you're young, it's like, that's where the witches live. That's where...
I'm glad you brought that up. My dad had very strong opinions about Casadega. He thought all of the people that lived around here were a bunch of wackanuts.
Yeah.
He thought most of them were carnival folk.
Yeah.
Most of them, I remember he worked with a company that produced, and I think they were importing very poorly made Chinese teddy bears, and my dad would bring home stuffed animals from this warehouse of carnival folks because they keep all the games.
All right.
Like, my dad would go back into a warehouse. It'd be like a Gravitron, a pile of teddy bears, like some dart boards, the put the water in the clown's mouth and the balloon expands, all that stuff. Because Casadega is sort of known as a bit of a carnival town.
It is. They have Spirit Lake, Tom, that I swore up and down that I could see the strobe lights because they said if you came out there at a certain time of the night, you could see orbs flying over the lake and stuff.
All right.
And I'm like, those are strobe lights. They're putting something in the lake.
So there is a actual reason Casadega is considered spooky or spiritual. There's supposed to be a spiritual vortex here. You know about that?
Yeah, the vortex. I was reading a little bit about the vortex. Do you know the gentleman's name who traveled far and wide? He
in the 1800s is Colby, right?
Yeah, it was Colby, and supposedly a premonition, a being known as Seneca came to him and spoke of a place of pure enlightenment that he was to build a spiritual community. And we are now standing in that community.
In Casadega, Florida.
And the entity that told him this in a vision or dream was called Seneca. Very weird. I don't know what that means, but I was trying to equate it to like Seneca Falls, New York, or I don't know. I mean, but it's very earthy, very weird.
And so ever since then, there's a bunch of psychics here, and I guess
It's the epitome of nobody wants to sit with us, so all the goths sit at the one lunch table, right?
This is the goth lunch table.
This is the goth lunch table of Florida. Is Casadega, where all the goths sit and they talk about Bauhaus and they talk about Danzig and they dress in all black.
So, did you guys know supposedly the bars are supposed to be made out of iron because iron you can fight spirits with?
Okay, now
I didn't know that.
Tuttle's referencing the bars. We are standing in front of the Casadega Cemetery right now on a spooky, abandoned road.
Yeah. And
I've
peed on this road. Not one car on this road. I'd also like to point out that we've done how many of these, and that was the worst beginning of a story we've ever done. We've done like 10 of these, and we don't know how to do a broadcast. It's terrible.
So we are at the Casadega Cemetery, which is the home of the Devil's Chair of Casadega, Florida. And legend has it that this Devil's Chair, if you sit on it or sit on the
I told my wife, legend has it, if you sit on it, the devil will talk to you. And the devil is me, and I'm horny.
If you sit in the Devil's Chair at the stroke of midnight, that the devil will appear and then talk to you.
Now, did you read anything about if you pull up in a self-driving car and pee on the side of the road, that Doc Brown will appear?
I'm sorry. I know it's corny.
No, I love it. I think you look fantastic.
If anybody in Casadega sees your self-driving car, they will attack it with a pitchfork. This is small town.
It's witchcraft.
Small town America. They will hit your Tesla with a Trump flag.
Let's walk over to the front. Let's walk over to the front because I don't think we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna go in.
Okay, so when we pulled up,
Tuttle is wearing a white jumpsuit and he has a white truck, so he basically just looks like maintenance is here.
There is police tape that is blocking the entrance of the cemetery. Now, I heard that it's obviously like they put out a patrol tonight because we are.
This is Devil's Night.
This is the day before Halloween. We were recording this, and apparently sitting on the Devil's Chair at the stroke of midnight tonight is when it's supposed to happen. So they have basically put up guards here because teens, I guess, the land teens will come out here. There's also, it's funny too, because
the teens get out here, you're jumping around the Devil's Chair, you're doing salvia, you're tripping out, you're drinking some Four Loko.
I want to talk to you guys about that, but so there's a bunch of Devil's Chairs around the entire United States.
Yes.
Like the Devil's Chair thing seems to be a popular urban legend that is
or
around.
Like a horror or spooky trope. And you know where that started, right?
No.
Do you know why these chairs are here? It's completely innocent.
It's a morning chair, right?
It's a morning chair. Like even right there, directly in front of, if you ever come out here, and a lot of people do, thousands do, there's a bench. And most of the time when you see a bench, I used to ask, even Don Price, I'd ask him, why are there so many chairs here? Why are there benches? And it's so that if you have someone that's passed, that you can come and you can sit with them and kind of remember them, or maybe speak to them, or maybe pray or do whatever. Now, the most interesting thing about the Devil's Chair, and you knew the name of the family. What was the family that had the Devil's Chair?
Oh yeah. Well,
you wrote it down. Notes. Yeah, it's a good thing we wrote it down. The marijuana is really the ghost of marijuana stealing my brain.
Thatcher family plot is where the Devil's Chair is supposed to be.
Yeah, because the most interesting thing about his is that most of the time the writing would be on the exterior, but what Mr. Thatcher did is he put the writing on the interior. And it was said that the reason he did that is so he could be alone with the people that he knew that had passed and mourn them privately, which is kind of different and odd.
So another part of the legend is if you leave a beer on the Devil's Chair,
it'll cut your grass. If you leave a beer on the Devil's Chair, it will cut the tree limbs above your house, and it'll be no big deal.
Oh, cars coming by.
And maybe we can talk to them. Do you want me to try to talk to them when they drive by?
I don't need your man on the street.
Hey, how are you?
I like it. We're going to end up getting shot out here.
He's driving a Camry.
Also, another thing that Tuttle doesn't realize is that you dress as Doc Brown, waving to someone that lives in this super tight-knit community. That lady's driving back to her cat house to call the police. Some mermaid-haired bitch is going to call the police now and get us arrested because we're out here because Doc Brown waved at her stupid Celica.
Yeah. It would have been easier if we just have worn our normal clothes.
But Doc Brown had to show up in his work truck.
I look
Was I supposed to dress as Marty McFly?
I
would have.
I look like Doc Washington with this wig on.
I like it, though.
Okay.
You know you're supposed to take the net off the wig, right?
I didn't know that. I thought that was to hold the hair in.
He's wearing the net off the wig on, so it looks like an old, ugly lunch lady.
So, okay, you guys...
Why are you dressed like a lunch lady?
Daniel, you and Patrick Fowler grew up in DeLand.
Yes. There's another one.
And so you guys grew up in DeLand. Did I'm sure in high school, the coming out to the Devil's Chair was a thing, right?
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you even mentioned that. Yeah, it was a thing. And so we had talked about it. And, of course, little boys, it comes up. And I can remember being a freshman at DeLand High School. And there was and everybody had this one, or maybe more than one kid, but everybody had that one kid in your school that was known to be a troublemaker, have behavioral problems, maybe was abused, but definitely was satanic.
Yeah.
And we had one, and his name was Marvin. It's the only Marvin I've ever come in contact with.
I had a black guy named Marvin that bullied me for money every day.
I believe when he peed on your basketball.
Yeah, he did. He was the one. How do you know that?
Yeah, well, it's the best way to bully Doc Brown is to pee on his basketball. So I remember Marvin, he was in band, and then sometimes these kids, most kids that were into death metal or metal would take band because they wanted to be drummers or something, It's like any way they could get in there and do music. So we're talking to Marvin, and we brought up the Devil's Chair, and Marvin, because he was the only person we knew that was sort of the occult and dark, he said, hey, I'll take you out to the Devil's Chair. I'll take you out there. And we're like, oh, hell, Marvin's going to take us out to the Devil's Chair. So we made the time, me and Jeremy and Dave and Robbie, and all of us were going to meet the kid that we don't necessarily really like, but we thought he could be like our gateway to the Devil's Chair. So we all get ready to go. We all meet up at Dave's house. We're all there, ready. Even our parents know we're going to go out here. And we've got a buddy that's a little bit older. He's 16, 17. He's going to drive us out. So it's all set. We got Willie driving the car. So we're about to go out here. Which turns out that Marvin ended up stabbing his mom. That's how satanic he was. He never made it. He never made it to the event or to take us out there because he'd gotten into more trouble for fighting with his mom, and he ended up stabbing her. He went to jail.
God damn.
So maybe he was satanic, but we never made it to we never made it out there. But he did end up being quite the psycho.
What about you, Tuttle? Did you have any run-ins with the devil? I mean, you've been doing 90s radio stunts.
You haven't sat in this naked before?
I would.
Is this the first? Hold on. This can't be the first time. Okay.
No, I just did a photo shoot with my ex-wife out here.
Because that's what people do.
On the Devil's Chair.
Yeah, that's what people do.
No. I mean, I thought with like some radio stunt back in the day.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
when were you dressed? What you guys just did, are these the divorce photos?
No, she makes me, she's like, hey, I got these new outfits or whatever. I want you to take pictures of me.
In a cemetery? I've seen those videos. I know what happens in those.
Hold on. What is it there? So you came here, you did
Have you seen Tuttle's ex-wife?
Yeah,
hot as hell.
I know.
Yeah, she's a smoke show.
That is wedding.
Freaking smoke show.
She got hotter after she left me.
Yeah, well, that's,
So you did a photo shoot on
Yeah. And,
bikini? What are we talking?
And the great thing is that she lets me direct her, whenever
oh my God, it's like casting couch.
I'm shooting. It's like the casting devil's couch.
Here comes the lady again. I told you. Here comes the
How
lady
are
again.
you?
Same car.
Hello.
Same car. I told you, Doc Brown. She's going back to the spiritual center.
But in
a second, we're gonna have two fat mermaid-haired ladies on us. They're gonna be yelling at us.
In Pearson, we had a haunted fernery that a bunch of Mexicans died in. That was haunted.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
That was the fire of '84.
Yeah, it was great. But Devil's Chair is always out here, and I have always wanted to do sexy things. And the Devil's Chair.
Well, you had your opportunity. You had his wife out here in a bikini. You were the director. and you blew your chance.
During the daytime, I can't.
Now,
look, I just peed to the side of the road next to Doc Brown. You could have taken some photos.
It is pretty deserted out here, besides from the two cars that pass and one suspicious lady that's driving back and forth.
Yeah, she's going to be back. Trust me, she'll be back.
Okay, so at the entrance, there's a police tape. Okay, so...
Yeah, but it doesn't say official Volusia County Sheriff's Department police tape. That could be from Spencer's Gifts.
You're right.
I've seen co-eds wrap their boobies in police tape before. Police tape don't stop nothing.
And there is gates, so if they didn't want anybody in here, they could, I guess, just close the gates.
There's
right?
no real posted sign, is my point.
And
right?
I have Mike Chitwood's cell phone number here in Volusia
Don't
County.
call him. He'll be walking me. He'll be walking me like a fat little kid that called a bomb threat. Do not do that.
He's been waiting his whole career to gun me down.
Let's just go.
So
I don't know. I'm a little chicken.
Now,
what if it's a trap? What if as soon as we walk in there?
So the official police line isn't officially.
It does not say official police line.
It does say police line.
It does not say crime scene, though.
It does not say crime scene.
They don't want you crossing a crime scene.
Yeah. So this is just to keep teens out, right?
It should say, there should be, okay, here, let's walk a little closer.
Hold on, we just pick out a headstone and we say we're visiting.
Okay, it says here.
You're dressed like Doc Brown and have microphones.
Well, we just got to find a grave that says Marty on it. We're good.
The guy's disappeared.
It says cemetery hours, 9 a.m. to dusk. Any person on the premises after 7 p.m. will be considered trespassers and will be prosecuted under Florida Statute 810.09.
Well, it's 10:45 in the morning, so this we're fine to go.
Yeah, we're fine.
Because I wanted to end this Tom and Dan Halloween special.
Oh, he's going in.
With,
all right, now we gotta follow him in. All right, we're following him in.
Let's go.
We're going in.
Come on,
Okay.
Tom.
All right. So
let's go up here.
where is the devil chair?
Right there.
Okay.
Are we going? We're going to cross the police line. Are we doing it?
Don't walk on over somebody's grave.
No, I won't do it.
Yeah.
Now, if that blue car comes by, I just want to let you guys know we're in a lot of trouble.
I'm running.
Well, again, though, it's a police tape. I guess they could say, like, why'd you pass that? We put this up to keep.
And
you
I'd
out
say
of here.
because I didn't want to do your rules. I can't lie. I'm just going to say I didn't want to abide by your rules.
Okay, so red brick chair is
That's
devil's
it.
chair.
Okay.
Somebody's placed some pumpkins out here. We are in. I guess we are slightly breaking the law.
Well, I don't know if I guess
if we get far enough in here, I think we'll be okay because then the cars won't see us.
Listen, Tuttle,
and we're not teens. We're not over here pissing on it or anything.
The reason why we brought you out here, Tuttle.
Wait,
is,
that is it.
Yeah, the Thatcher family
Wow.
plot.
That's
There it is.
wild.
This is the official devil's chair.
It's beautiful. It is quite ominous and strange.
Yeah. See, that's the chair there.
Wow. Interesting.
Now, I think those are fake graves.
No, I don't think they are. We learned a lot from Don Price that a lot of these the stones have a tendency to, I guess they're porous and they'll last friggin' forever.
Okay, so what about those Thatchers over there?
Well, they have a chair as well. So which one's the correct?
Oh, I don't know.
Wait a minute. There's two devil's chairs.
There's two identical devil's chairs.
Wait, maybe you have to sit in both of them, and that's how you switch identities.
What if we tell someone, like, hey, did you know there's two identical devil chairs? They're like, no, there's not. There's only one.
Yeah.
But there are two identical.
Yeah, no, but what if we're just seeing this because we're already in the vortex? What if we're in the vortex already?
I don't know. I keep looking around to see. Like now, I'm kind of scared of that blue Corolla. He keeps need some lady out here whacking me with her Crocs. He's yelling at me. What are you guys doing in here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's obvious tomfoolery because, again, if Tuttle was dressed like he was at a funeral, then maybe we can get away with it. But he's dressed like Doc Brown.
Well, no, I would say from the distance, it looks like me and my grandfather.
All right, so Tuttle, will you sit in the devil's chair?
Of course. Yeah.
And then, I mean, technically, it's not midnight yet, but I think it, it counts as the whole day. It's midnight somewhere today, right?
Hey, that's the Toby Keith. That is the Toby Keith devil's chair. It's midnight somewhere.
I mean, yeah, I'll go sit in it. I don't want to.
What are we going to do?
My brand new Doc Brown costume.
He doesn't want to get his Doc Brown
I'll
dirty.
go sit down.
Let me pressure wash it. Did you bring your pressure washer? Let me hit it. Let me hit it once before he sits in it.
Now, part of the urban legend is there was a teen one night that sat in here and disappeared and never was seen from again.
Now, do you know the story of the movie?
Well, which one?
The movie Devil's Chair ends up being like I don't think it's based on this at all, but it ends up being like a psycho ward where it was like some sort of demonic chair that comes to life and killed some woman. But it's like any good psychological thriller. It was the man the whole time. He was killing. He was just killing everyone and just imagined a chair.
I think scary movies that involve slave ghosts are always the scariest.
Okay, they can be, and that's Doc Brown. Everybody, not Tom and Dan. Tom and Dan do not think that slave ghosts are the scariest, but Doc Brown would.
Tuttle,
the slaves are back.
Are you nervous at all about sitting in the chair and getting cursed for the rest of your life?
I mean, how more cursed can I be?
That's the correct answer. That is the correct answer.
That's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah. Only a cursed man would take photos of his beautiful ex-wife in a cemetery.
No, I'm just saying, maybe the curse might be a better life than what I'm actually living right now.
Well, okay,
all right. Hey, that's a good way of looking at it.
That is a possibility. Maybe this will undo the curse that was already put on you.
Well, that's called the Magoo. When you hit him on the head once and he loses his memory, you hit him on the head twice, and then he comes back to life.
Or my cursed life basically beats up this cursed chair, basically, because
your curse is too powerful for the chair.
All right, so Tuttle, what we're going to do is me and Daniel are going to walk because I don't want to.
Well, we got to take a break.
Okay.
So do you want to do that now? We could take the break.
Yeah.
And then
we'll come back, and then Tuttle will sit in the Devil's Chair at Casadega, Florida, and then we'll see what happens. We are back with the 2024 Tom and Dan Halloween special.
Live, not live, from Casadega,
Florida, the Devil's Chair. We are standing in front of it. Tuttle's about to go sit in the Devil's Chair.
It's a wide chair, so the Thatchers were ready for the Fattos.
It is spooky because it's all brick, and when did the Thatchers
did you notice
die?
that? Now, do you see what I was talking about how the gravestones face inward so he can see them? But if you were standing on the outside, you wouldn't be able to see any writing.
1838.
Yeah,
is when Mary Thatcher was born. 1853. What does that say? Ethy?
You guys hear that gate creaking back there?
Yeah. I know.
I thought that was a rooster.
All right. Okay.
I mean, it could be.
Let's get this over with before that lady comes back. All right, Tuttle. Here, hold the mic.
Here.
No, hold the mic and
hold
walk
it right
in
here.
there.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
All right, so
Hold
Tuttle's
on.
walking in
Wait,
there.
am I walking over somebody's
No,
body?
stay
right
on the
now?
sides.
No.
Stay on the sides.
I'm just trying to be like I don't want to be disrespectful.
Stay on the sides.
Okay. So Tuttle's walking up to the Devil's
Jesus.
Chair. And he is now...
He's going in.
We're going to give you...
he brushes it off. Okay, ready?
All right. Okay. All right. Hold on.
3, 2, 1.
It's a little bit of a... come on, man. I feel like I'm getting hit in the head with something.
Patrick?
Yes?
Patrick found.
Yeah, I hear something, guys.
It is the devil.
Okay.
Beelzebub himself.
All right. Okay.
I have a deal for you, Patrick.
Okay.
Will you give me your soul if I make you the most powerful and legendary radio stunt fool of all time?
Yes, Beelzebub. Yes, it's something that I've wanted more than anything in my whole entire life.
Silence! I will also gift your enemy, Thomas Van, a divorce, forcing him to become Drunky the Bear again. Imagine the joy of humiliating him daily. And for your little friend, I will gift Daniel Dennis an eternity of midget wrestling. Yes, I said it. I can say any word I want. Watch this, my both of them slaves and your interns for eternity. Will you give me your soul?
Yes, of course. There's nothing that I've ever wanted more in my life to go back to the way things once were, when life was happy and stuff. I would love that more than anything, and I would love for Drunky to be on the same level as me, divorced and unhappy.
Oh, and I'll also repair your mangled anus, free of charge, on the house.
I mean,
And I'm sure I don't have to tell you this, but of course, this conversation is totally private. Do not share a word.
Okay. Deal.
What do you feel?
It's a little hard.
Okay.
Very porous on my back, but for the most part, I really don't feel anything weird or whatever so far. I kind of am in the shade right now, so, like, I've got a very cold feeling as soon as I sat down in the chair.
I think I see cop cars in the woods.
Oh, yeah, there's a cop car.
Yeah, there's 2 cop cars in the woods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Okay.
So we're probably going to get arrested now.
Yeah, so,
I'll take the fall.
So you have no devil?
No devil.
Okay, all right.
All right.
So
let's go.
Should I call Chitwood?
Yeah, you might want to.
All right, we're making our way back to the car.
I mean, most of these things, I guess what you could gather from it is that it's typically a legend, typically does nothing, and that we are the ones that usually project the story onto it. In fact, if you read the Casadega website, you can see that most people there, they basically blame us normos for making this a thing. They don't believe in negative energies. They don't believe in like satanic forces coming to life in a cemetery. Like they are basically that weird positive witch type stuff.
Well, they believe in like psychic abilities and things like that, but I guess not the actual devil drinking.
Yeah, but if you go,
light.
if you get on their website and start reading what they say, they are. It smacks of being against it. You know what I mean? Like it smacks of being like, yo, we don't do this here. You know, like which I've never fully understood.
Well, it's funny because I watched some YouTube influencers. They came by here in April of this year, and there were beers and things left on those chairs.
Oh, yeah. This is the other thing I was going to tell you.
Right?
This is the other thing I was going to tell you. Yeah, like gifts. Like when I worked at the City Hall here in, close enough, in DeLand. When I worked City Hall in DeLand, what would happen is they would tell me, they'd be like, okay, you're going to get a lot of people calling about like the devil's chair or other things that are like happening. You need to let them know absolutely they should not go
What
out
about
there.
the pennies and the roses? Is that some type of thing?
I think that is a thing too. Yeah, like this is weird. They put this, I guess.
Look how they're like all
Take a picture of that, TC. So the caution tape was up, and then I'm guessing somebody came to visit their loved one and didn't want to cross the tape because they're not animals like we are. So they threw it out their window, right?
Or left it here as an offering
For the devil. So you left him 6 pennies and 2 roses.
I like you believe in the devil, but too afraid to cross the caution tape. Like you believe that you're making an offering to the actual devil, but you're like, oh, some caution tape from Spirit Halloween. No, I'm not passing that.
Here's my last question, because we didn't really answer it up there because obviously we don't want to, stay in a spot we shouldn't be. But I never knew that there were 2 devil's chairs.
It doesn't say that online.
No, nobody has ever said that. So, and Tuttle was right. Like, as we're standing there, directly diagonal from the first Thatcher plot is another plot that looks almost identical.
Do you think that the queue was like too long for the devil's chair, like on Halloween
and
night,
and they added
a second one?
They added a secondary devil's chair.
It did say on the Wikipedia that there are multiple mourning chairs in here, but the correct one is the Thatcher family plot. But it didn't say there's 2.
Yeah,
so
there are 2 Thatcher plots.
Yeah. So are there 2 devil's chairs?
Well,
no one's ever said that.
That would make me think that the one, like which
one's the real one?
We went to the wrong one.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
And why would has there ever been anything, like you read about this morning and I tried to, was there anything switched to or like connected to the Thatchers of anything sinister?
No, they're regular people.
Yeah, they're good folks, right? They're excellent, good people.
And for century, people have been desecrating their.
So they.
No, I guess you have people visiting. It becomes famous, so it's like your name lives on. Is more than just if you're a random.
Which is better,
gravestone.
Devil's Chair, or like if your name is like BJ Free, like BJ Free, or something.
Goof name.
Like you have a goof name, like your last name is Penis.
Yeah,
and your
Well, the Devil's Chair will be an urban legend forever, right? It'll just this thing until, and they never like bulldoze down cemeteries. So this thing will be here for.
Well, they don't tell you they bulldoze them down,
they do.
But I think they bulldoze them down.
What about Ghost Hill? Have you guys ever heard the legend of Ghost Hill, where like you can?
It's Spook Hill, right?
Yeah, Spook Hill. I didn't want to say that because we're living in different times.
I understand. We got Tony Hinchcliffe over here. This guy thinks Puerto Rico is a garbage dump.
I'm just saying, though, Spook Hill, you can put your car in neutral and it'll drive up.
No, that's not true. It's just the way it looks like it.
Why Why does it look like that?
Because the way that you're standing, it's just like, we could be standing on an incline, but then the road is built the opposite direction.
So it's just an optical illusion. Okay, yeah. So is that by here?
I basically hate all of the Okay, I'm going to be honest.
What are you going to believe? This is a Halloween special.
Share all of it. I hate all of it. It's all dumb. I used to get yelled at because the city hall, they'd be like, you better tell them, if they call up, you tell them not to go out to the devil's chair. I'd have to make the announcements for it. Then you'd have, police go out there. Then you'd have, Volusia County go out there and, watch and make sure all the kids don't go there and finger each other. I'm going to cut that out.
DeLand used to have the best scary houses, though, back in the day. It was usually,
the JCs.
Redneck guy would have it, and then, they would have, a hayride haunted thing, and there was a guy that almost got his head decapitated because he zip-lined across the road to act like a witch one time.
What was give me your Halloween costumes, your mama, your daddy. Was there anything off limits?
No. My mom made me a very ghetto-looking Alf costume.
Okay.
When I was younger, we went to the Roses right there in DeLand. Remember the Roses?
Yeah, I do remember the Roses.
Before it was shut down. Yeah, we went trick-or-treating around there, and everybody just thought I was a rabid dog.
Well, she just bought the finest of furs from Joanne Fabric, and she sewed her young boy an Alf costume.
I thought you were Alf with saggy pants and a beanie. Some racist version of it.
I'm 50 Cent Alf.
So I guess we visited the most famous haunted attraction in Florida, the Devil's Chair, Casadega, Florida. And I guess we could report that we didn't hear the devil.
No.
Tuttle, did you get
anything? No, but
a feeling? Did your anus feel something?
Yeah, I mean, if I get bowel cancer in a couple of months, then we'll know that Devil's Chair.
How does your anus feel?
It's not great.
Okay. Well, that's just from. Okay, and are you still planning on doing your? When is your Big Bubba the Love Sponge?
Oh yeah, that's November 15th and 16th. Are you coming out? We're gonna stunt it.
It gives us something to look forward to. Should we make it? Should we get a location at the Devil's Chair?
Do you want to get
a location at the Pooper Chair?
Davenport's a whole different. Casadega is easier to get to.
It is easier. Yeah, it's a straight shot.
What if I can get you in the cash cube?
Yeah.
You want to go in the cash cube?
It'd have to be a lot of cash.
How much? It's like $4,000.
It's like $4,000 in one.
Yeah, but it'd have to be guaranteed. I can't just be, bumbling around. Then I'll be up on the websites. I don't want to mess up.
Do you guys still dabble? I noticed that you're dipping your toe back into radio again. Mm-hmm. Do you guys still dabble in any of the unfortunate people that you used to?
No. I mean, we do have this. Bubba actually had to pull a gun one morning on a black man that's coming back and trying to play with our goats that we have.
Okay.
No, all right.
It's nothing to do with the radio. It's just a homeless man assaulting your goats, and Bubba the Love Sponge shooting him away with a gun.
We're trying
awesome.
We're trying to get him on the show, but we think he's doing nefarious things with our goats.
Okay.
I try to get Daniel to stop making fun of Tampa, but you guys are doing it to yourselves.
Yeah, I know. I can't. And it's a love-hate relationship with me. I make fun of it only because I want to enjoy it so bad. The ladies over there, the goat rapist. I love it. I love all of it.
All right, Tuttle. Well, we appreciate you coming by here and taking the time out of your day to come do a stunt for us and sit on the devil chair in Casadega.
We don't even know if he sat on the right one.
I mean, it says
They
the
give us a
Thatcher.
part 2. Next year we'll go to part 2, but next year we'll go to the second one.
If the devil is sitting there waiting, go to the next one. No! Come on.
He went to the angel
He'll
jet.
come to both of them. He's got ultimate powers. He can go to both Thatcher family chairs. So anyway, that is your Tom and Dan 2024 Halloween special. So from Tom Van and Daniel Dennis.
Yes, sir.
And Patrick Fowler.
Thank you, guys.
Who is dressed as Doc Brown.
We hope you guys have a great Halloween, and we'll see you next year.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
We are back in the studio.
Back here.
From Casadega.
Boy, is that a dump.
Why would you say that? It's a small Florida town that has interesting.
It's cute. It's actually cute.
Population.
Can I tell them my idea?
Yeah.
I actually want to. I would like to transition the Air T&D into the Air Spooky, which is we're gonna buy one of those homes that's for sale in Casadega.
Yeah.
And we're gonna make a year-round Halloween attraction. Tom and Dan Spooky Airbnb.
It could be one of these Airbnbs that get some social media traction, but
we make it all spooky inside.
Or nobody will rent it like our Sanford Airbnb. It could be that too.
It's already pretty spooky at our Airbnb.
Because then people realize when there's nothing to do in Casadega.
Well, ours really people that what we didn't understand at the time, and what our listeners started to understand and then make us aware of, is that we made the loudest home in Sanford our Airbnb. It is so loud there when you try to sleep. You can't sleep there. It's an unsleepable house. So I mean, just ask any of the listeners, all 5 of them that stayed there. I mean, it's loud.
So before we end the Halloween special, I told you about this thing that I saw that I did some research on.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes along the same, I guess. It's a gory, crazy tale, urban legend about the largest human massacre caused by animals of all time.
Oh, dude.
It's in the Guinness Book of World Records. Okay.
Really?
It's called the Ramery Island Massacre.
The Ramery Island. Ramery like mammary?
Or just Ramery.
Oh, Ramery.
Yeah. So apparently...
You know what? I'm going to start calling my penis my Ramery gland. It's my Ramery gland.
The legend goes that the Ramery Island Massacre happened in World War II. And it was a island that was occupied by the Japanese, and it was like a Japanese airfield.
Okay.
And it was
Japanese airfields are smaller.
It was in the Burma area, and so there was 1,000 Japanese soldiers that occupied the island.
Okay.
And then it got invaded by the Allies, by the Indian Army and the British Army. I guess they were allies with the United States at the time or whatever.
Okay.
So what happened in this part of the legend is when the Japanese occupied the island, it was way too many people. So they basically ate all the deer and they ate all the cats and dogs. They ate everything.
Eat the cats. Eat the cats.
And because there's too many people on the island.
They're eating the vegetation.
So, and there's a ton, I guess, of saltwater crocodiles because this island has in the middle of it was a bunch of saltwater mangrove forests.
Okay, well,
right?
correct me if I'm wrong. I do think I know that the saltwater crocodile is like a predatorless animal, right? Like that thing will mess you up.
Yeah, and they'll eat humans, and they'll
eat anything. I think.
And so when the I guess Indian and British forces invaded, they pushed these 1,000 Japanese soldiers into the mangroves, right? And because they basically... So
it's like they're just pushing them back.
They pushed them into the mangroves and they surrounded them.
Oh, God.
So for weeks, the Japanese soldiers refused to get out because I guess they were...
There's a tough people.
Well, also, the other soldiers were killing them. So, and the legend goes that 1,000 Japanese soldiers went in, and only 25 or a couple hundred came out.
Than that. You say 2. And, you can say 1 guy walked out.
And the legend is they were majority eaten by saltwater crocodiles. Now. Just because we do, and you see,
no, but this has happened. But you're reminding me of the one where remember there's 2 lions that were terrorizing that one hunting camp, and I think they killed 13 people or something. Like this is a thing.
So, but I guess this made the Guinness Book of World Records for the
1,000. And there's what makes this weird to me.
Yeah,
you're not talking about 1,000 babies. You're not talking about 1,000. Schoolboys on a trip that their ship was stranded. You're talking about soldiers. So that leads me to believe that they're trained in fighting and have some sort of weaponry, and the crocodile still got them.
Well, it was they get them at night, and
I know.
There was I guess people wrote about it and said that they could hear
the screams at night. Yeah,
the screams, and then the crocodiles rolling. Now. full disclosure, if you dig deeper into this whole thing...
Oh, it's a lie.
Well, not that it's a lie.
Tall tale.
This did happen, but there's really not as much evidence that the crocodiles killed. Like, I guess historians are going back and saying that...
the Tom Vans of the world.
Ruining that most of the soldiers died from dehydration and wounds and dysentery and disease, and then
not as cool as crocodile. Not as cool as crocodile.
No,
like you say your grandfather died in the mangroves of dysentery. What happened? He was dehydrated from his diarrhea.
But the whole thing actually did happen, and the soldiers were in the mangroves, and a lot of them died. But apparently,
crocodile rolling is on my top 10 worst.
Could you imagine being in the mangroves at night while people are trying to kill you? An army is trying to kill you
with bullets,
but also there's giant saltwater crocodiles. And apparently, there's all these accounts of the buzzards would show up in the daytime and eat the remains of what the crocodile thing did.
Man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No.
1945. Yeah. And so that's the legend of Ramree Island, and it made the Guinness Book of World Records as the biggest.
That's a good one, dude.
Animal massacre of all time. And even if, obviously it looks like, 900 Japanese soldiers didn't die because of crocodiles, but a lot of them did. And at one time, in any scenario, that many people being attacked by crocodiles would never happen unless a weird instance of a bunch of humanity being forced by gunfire into one place.
I almost feel like this wouldn't happen now just because there wouldn't be that amount of untouched crocodiles in one area.
Oh, no, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We've, because the humanity is ruined most.
Thank you. Another point I'd like to mention is that I bet these crocodiles were still hungry. That's an Asian food joke. You're always hungry after you eat. I'm sorry. You eat the Asian food, and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so hungry now." It's delicious, but it don't fill you up, man.
And also, I guess they went back and interviewed some of the locals, immediately in the 50s or whatever, because this legend was
you're touching on one of my absolute favorite stories are vindictive animals.
Yeah.
I like stories where there's a legendary, it's usually big cats, but there's a legendary big cat that's in some area, and this thing hates the people that live there, and it is determined to kill them all. I like those stories because it's that cat was there first. We're kind of right? I mean, it's I like that the cat is determined to kill the village. That's pretty fun.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we got the History Center.
Yes, this is cool. We're doing a little history of our own area.
Yeah, all, based on Halloween-themed attractions in Central Florida.
We don't know how lucky we are. It is weird because, you go to, Chicago, I bet you don't have, multiple Halloween haunts just hanging out everywhere.
So we'll be right back with more 2024 Halloween special. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
There is an event called Cows and Cabs. It's November 9th. And it's a gigantic street party.
We've worked with these people before. They do a lot of good work for charities.
Yeah. There's a bunch of food, a bunch of wine.
Yes.
And if you go to cowsandcabs.com, you can get your tickets.
Yeah, and you can check it out, and you can, take your significant other or a group of people. You can get your tickets, and it's super duper VIP and awesome, and you can wander around, and then while you're having a great time, you're doing some good for local charities in this area. So there you go.
We've got a guest in studio.
Want me to play his theme song? I got him a little song. I made him a little song. Here we go.
He gets drunk and passes out. Super funny, there's no doubt. Greatest mustache on a mouth. It's our friend Mike P.
No, all right.
Hey, what do you think?
Great.
What do you think?
I'm okay. You're cursed, Mike B. This is a GD radio show. You had one chance.
He's a minute 15 in. He's like, bam!
I was just so impressed with how good it was.
I'm getting good at commanding the prompts. Now, I will share with you that there is a little extra at the end that makes it a little more creepy. And since we are in the spooky season and inching out of it, I will play the end of it. You're going to hear the song again, but then you're going to hear AI do another little version. So here we go.
He gets drunk and passes out. Super funny, there's no doubt. Greatest mustache on a mouth. It's our friend Mike B. He gets drunk and passes out. Super funny, there's no doubt. Greatest mustache on a mouth. It's our friend Mike B.
So it does like a little creepier version where he's like, if you didn't hear it, I keep this speaking. He gets drunk and passes out. It's super funny, there's no doubt.
It's weird that they...
Greatest mustache on a mouth. That's our friend, Mike B.
Yeah, it's interesting how the AI brain works.
Yeah, it really is. It worked out pretty good. Hey, welcome, dude, and good to see you.
Yeah,
always a pleasure
me,
seeing Mike B from the Oh No Radio Show. Plug your podcast in case you're looking for a new podcast that's a lot about nothing and very fun. This would be a good one for you.
Yeah, of course, you can find us twitch.tv/ONRS Live. Anywhere on podcasts, just Oh No Radio Show, Facebook.com group / the Oh No Radio Show. And if you want to throw us a little bit of money, patreon.com/ONRS.
There you go. One of the only surviving local podcasts.
12, 13 years strong.
Congratulations. Now. Congratulations.
So, Mike, I'm kind of disappointed because my first question was going to be, how do you decide what nose ring to put in the morning?
Yeah.
And I noticed that your nose ring is gone.
It's not. I just put it away so you didn't clown me. You found a way to do it anyways.
But where he put it will blow your mind.
You let me clowning you make change your
It's like me with your headbands.
style?
It's like me with your headbands. He used to wear he still wears them.
I still wear
them.
Yeah. Don't take.
I used to clown every man. I see a lot of men in my Facebook stories that still wear those headbands. I know who you are.
Well, because then
I know who you are.
Mahomes and Josh Allen and some young football players started adopting the headband. So I'm like, it's cool. It's not cool.
It's not cool.
Very what's up, fellow young people of you, Tom.
It's not cool. No cap. Extra rib.
Well, it's cool for a young NFL quarterback, not for an old man.
True. That is true. But you do look young. Younger than me and Mike B. I'll give you that.
Not as young since I've lost weight.
You do look
it ages you.
Yeah.
Your wrinkles. I need to smooth the wrinkles out. Anyway.
Skeleton, let's go do some coke.
That's why I keep just a little bit of fat on me so I don't look like an old man.
That's the reason.
So, Mike, you emailed me and you said that you have a bit for us today.
Yeah, let's do it.
I do.
And then I told Daniel the bit, and he's like, "Doesn't Owen do that?" And then Owen's bit.
Does it have a theme song?
And I'm like, I don't know. Mike just said he does this bit called Products, and I was like,
it's Owen's bit.
Yeah.
No, it's a show bit.
Okay, it's a show bit. It's a show bit.
That Owen usually presents.
If I get an email from Owen and he's like, "Why'd you let Mike B do my bit?" Oh man, what if you're doing? Are you sneaking in here to steal his bit?
No, I messaged him yesterday to tell him I was doing it.
Oh, just to tell. Okay.
Yeah, well, to say, hey, I know this is your thing, but you've been out of town so much lately.
Yeah, maybe you've. It's kind of like Primus's drummer. Primus's drummer. He quit via email.
No, really?
Tim Herb Alexander. They were getting ready to go back on tour, do something, and he sent them an email, and then they emailed him back. They're like, "Hey, come on, man, what's wrong?" And he sent one last email and said, "I've lost the love to play, and I'm out." And that's it. And he's done.
And he's been the Primus drummer this whole time?
No, he quit once before, and then they got this other guy named Brain in there who wasn't as good, but still good. And then he came back, and everybody that likes Primus was like, yeah! But, they are the world's greatest annoying band.
I wonder if he lost the passion or the love for drumming or for touring.
Probably
because
touring. I think he still teaches drums.
Yeah. I'm sure he loves drumming still. If they're like, you could play from your house, he'd do that. But the getting on the tour bus and going from place to place, like that's a grind.
And maybe you just don't want to turn to your left and see a guy with goggles in his head going, that's got to get annoying after a while. You're like, come on, can we just knock off the baby talk, Les? Can we just play some can we play some straight ahead blues rock and roll without I know this big brown beaver in the pocket.
I remember when I was in middle school, and I was like, I know what big brown beaver means.
I know my mom heard that. And every time I think of that song, I think of my mom now.
Your dad must have laughed at that, right?
I don't think my dad understood what was happening, because Les Claypool's a little too wacky for my dad. My dad and Les Claypool, like, if they did a Plane, Trains, and Automobiles starring Les Claypool and my father, that'd be a great movie, right? Because it's so fish out of water.
All right, Mike.
All right, we ready to do products?
So let's do some product. Now, explain to us what this is.
So products is basically a bit where we scour through all the crowdfunding, Kickstarters, startup sites that we can find. And I just look for some interesting and fun things that I think are coming through the pipeline that maybe you guys want to invest in, or maybe you guys just want to laugh at. Because some of these are actually, some of them are great, and some of them are more of a, why are we innovating?
Okay. Right, so we'll go.
These are all Kickstarters.
We'll go to our first one here.
Yeah.
This is. You want me to go ahead and say it, or this?
Yeah.
This is WindGuard. WindGuard, our innovative lighter products, that protects your flame from the wind, making every outdoor ignition easy and safe. Should I hit the video?
Yeah. Give you a little play.
All right. Let's see.
Well, this is a problem that I thought like the blowtorch lighters fixed.
All right, so this is like a little insert. You put your lighter inside.
Okay.
Yeah, and it totally shields your flame. You can light your lighter. They say you can use it for like camp grills, but
okay, I do not hate this idea. So basically what it is, it looks like a little metal sleeve that you would put your Bic lighter in, and then there's a little aluminum piece that slides up to give it like a tinted area, and there's holes on the top so you can still get oxygen for the flame, and it lets you light the fire in a very small area without the wind blowing it out.
Now, not to S on this product, but what happened to the old hand over the cigarette?
Yeah.
That was my go-to move when I smoked.
You know, I was never good at that because I have small hands. Maybe this is for people with small hands.
Now,
there's two things in life I can never do because I have small hands. And one is I couldn't light a cigarette in the wind, and the other is I could never throw a football.
That's true. Now, I used to see a lot of people do the tuck their cigarette in their shirt and then try and light in
their shirt on fire.
Yeah, cigarette under shirt. That is very...
That's called a Castleberry Midsummer. You burn the tent. You burn the whole tent down. The Midsummer. You've seen that horror movie.
That's just how you end up with a little burn mark in the middle.
Castleberry Midsummer.
Burn the man in the tent dressed like a bear.
It's also... It is a bit extreme because you're like, I'm lighting
I've never
fire
seen that,
under my shirt.
I've never seen this. That is extreme,
but
it would work. I think that would work.
It works, but you end up either with little burn marks in the front of your shirt, right where you're lighting things, or you end up with a burn around the collar where you pull the cigarette out through the collar.
But there is...
I pulled a cigarette through a collar before. Real Florida people know what it's like to put your shirt on at the beach and pull your cigarette. You're unlocking a memory for me. I'm sitting here like, you said, you just pull a cigarette through the collar. And I'm like, wait a minute. Have I ever pulled? And of course I have. I used to surf St. Augustine. I'm at like Anastasia Beach. I'm smoking a cigarette. I got long hair. My hair's in a little pony knot. And I'm putting my shirt on, and I put the shirt on, and then I put the pony knot through, right? Because you got a knot on the back, and then you stretch the S out of the neck to go over your cigarette. I've done this. I have done this. Yeah.
But it is a cool-looking move. Think about all the movies you see when you light your cigarette and you like kind of nestle your chin in your like chest, and then you put your hand over your cigarette to light it in the wind.
Yeah.
It's a cool-looking move. If you pull out your nerdy like wind protector lighter thing.
Yeah, this is a for younger people.
And not to mention how often you lose your lighter. Like, you're just going to lose this thing.
That would be
the
number one thing I'd be concerned about, is that, this thing's $42, and I mean,
that's a lot of money for basically a sheath you put your lighter in.
Yeah. Poof. If you buy a $42 sheath for your lighter, and I've seen these things before. Grandma's had them, except it was a leather bag that you put your cigarettes in. It's a grandma. We need to sell these. Hold on. Do you have who has a pad of paper? Write down leather cigarette. Tom and Dan leather grandma bag. Leather cigarette grandma bag.
Leather cigarette grandma bag.
We're going to bring these. That has
the snap.
The snap. Yes. Yes, man. No, you're head of research and development. We're going to start doing this. We're going to do Tom and Dan leather cigarette bags, where the soft pack goes on the side and your lighter goes on the other side.
Yeah. It's like a satchel.
It's a satchel for your vices.
I've seen these, and then now,
Tracy, start searching Temu or Alibaba for grandma leather cigarette pouches. I think people would buy these just for fun. You could put your weed in there.
Now, back to this product, the $42 price point. It did shock me. I was like, if this thing was like $5.99, I would have been like, okay, you could sell these at gas stations or whatever. But $42, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, it is. It really, really is.
I'm thinking you get through the Kickstarter phase, and then China picks it up, and they're like, now they're $3.
For the first time ever, this is related. There's a company that sells Tesla parts, and I know this is a thing, but I've never seen it affect something like adjacent to something I'm into, right? So there's this company called Unplugged Performance, and they make a lot of like aftermarket Tesla coilovers and suspensions and wheels, forged wheels and stuff like that. And then this guy comes into the group and he's like, hey, check out this link. And it was a link to Alibaba, and then you go to Alibaba and click it, and it's all of their parts stolen, all the designs completely stolen at a factory. And the markup, like, you could buy this set of forged wheels for $2,000, or you could buy the set of forged wheels for $116. It's like, the difference in price is insane. And I felt so bad because I'm like, because there's no rule over those. You're right. This will get stolen. It's a good idea. It is. I'll give it that. It's a great idea. And for campers, I could see why you'd probably want to stash one in your gear.
Yeah.
Just in case.
We have done this with the pop socket phone holders or whatever.
Sock poppets.
They called them pop sockets. Like, we found, Tony found.
We did have the one that had the packaging. You're right.
There are factories in China that will just, it doesn't matter what patent you have or whatever, they'll just 100% steal it, start manufacturing with your same name, and then it'll be for sale on Temu or Alibaba or whatever. Yeah. And then you look at it, you're like, it's the same. It may be a little less quality, but they're all coming out of basically the same factory.
Well, that's what this guy said. So in the group I'm in, it's a Tesla enthusiast group, and some guys started arguing about it. And of course, I am the type of person where I wouldn't want to buy that. I'd rather buy from the company that invented it, because I feel like that is stealing, right? But the guys were all talking about it, and they're like, look, because it's an international group, one of the guys is like, I live in the area where these are made. It's coming from the same factory.
Yeah.
And it's just blowing people's minds because, some of these things are made in the same factory, stolen in the same factory, and just sourced out to other people. It's nuts.
Yeah. And all right, even if it is a little less quality, you start asking yourself, where you're like, wait a minute, it's 10 times less the price. So if it breaks a couple years sooner, I'll just buy it again. I could buy it 5 times, 10 times before it even equals,
it's crazy.
If it breaks every year, it's still more cost effective to just buy the cheap stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Although then you're just adding to the garbage pile.
You're part of the problem, too.
That we call Puerto Rico. I can't stop making the jokes.
Those aren't jokes.
Orlando's hinge clip here.
Those aren't jokes, sir. You want to do another one?
Yeah.
All right. This one. All right. I'll go ahead and load this one up. This is the Run Bell 3.0. A wearable bell to keep you moving. Pedestrians, dogs, and zombies. Run Bell handles them all. And I'll get the.
Skateboarders and rollerbladers often share paths with others. Sometimes you need to let people ahead of you know you're coming. So what do? Introducing the Run Bell.
I have this exact bell on my bike.
Wearable bike bell designed to fit your fingers. Runbell clears your path in an effective and non-intrusive way to keep you moving, no matter if you run, skate, or ride an electric unicycle. Many runners currently shop.
Was that his joke? That was his joke, right? No matter if you run, ride, or ride an electric unicycle.
Well, I guess
whether you're skateboarding, or whether you're exercising, skateboarding, or running from zombies.
Now, I've experienced this problem on a bicycle. I think everybody has. But,
what is that? You poop your pants?
But no, just
you fell over like old Biden did.
Well, just like and I've made the joke is like when you're coming up behind someone, and then you say like, "Hey, on your left," they immediately get scared and then go to their left. Yeah, like so. I guess the bell on the bicycle, that's more universal. But the running, I've never experienced this running. You just run around them.
Yeah, well,
and it's easy.
Well, what if you can't? What if you can't?
Yeah, you always can. I've never I'm not running on some one lane bridge or something. It's like I can jog in the grass for a couple steps or whatever, or just
Yeah, you're just too polite of a runner, Tom.
Yeah,
you need to assert your path.
You do.
But the runner bell
put your foot down.
Seems passive aggressive.
I want you to run in place. I want you to run in place behind them and refuse to pass until they get over. Like a car.
Just keep dinging.
You got to flash your lights.
Like if someone
left lane.
If I'm running, which I was running yesterday, and then I hear
bragging now.
I hear
he said that
ding.
to brag to you because he knows you don't run.
I hear a ding.
Thanks, Tom.
I hear a ding, and then I turn around, and it's another runner.
Did you jump to the left? You're like, oh!
No, but I
would be like, what the hell? People. If a
just run around me.
If a runner runs up behind you and dings the bell, you're going to think there's a bike. And you're like, where's the bike?
Yeah, you're right.
Bells are bikes. Sorry. Bells are bikes. You need something else. Runners, you need something else.
Also,
like a vuvuzela.
I don't want to carry anything. Like I see these runners that carry water with them. I'm like, I don't want to hold anything. I'm struggling.
You like to run. He runs in just his tiny shorts, a boner, and a headband.
Why are you making this as hard as no water, no bells?
I don't want to carry with you. Like I'll stop at a water fountain, but I don't want to carry.
The hot one on the Katie wheel. Oh, it's so hot.
Yeah, scorching hot.
And there's definitely amoebas in there.
I spit the first couple of mouthfuls.
I do too. I switch though to get the liquid on my teeth. I get really dry teeth when I ride a bike because I can't ride a bike without my mouth open.
And then I think you could swallow the amoebas. You just can't get them into your nose brain.
You can eat them. You can eat an amoeba because your acids in your stomach will kill an amoeba. But you don't have stomach acid in your ears, you idiot.
Yeah. So you could.
You guys don't have brain acid?
You could drink any amoebas you want.
Do you want a little more of this, or are you done with the bike bell? Or the run bell?
How much does this cost?
On your left! But if people even hear you, they often move left in confusion.
He's right.
Others might try coughing, stomping your feet, or simply...
I do the cough. I'm a cougher. If I'm riding my bike and behind you and you don't hear my bike, and I have a very loud bike. If you don't hear my bike, then I do I clear my throat. And then if you don't hear that, I'll try to make a pass on you. And then if you pull out into me, I'll start a fight. That happened to me.
I find that people know I'm coming because I slap the floor hard with my feet.
Yeah. It's
real hard. And then I turned off my music the other day.
It's called clown slapping.
I'm running very. I know
you run like a Bozo the Clown. You run like Bozo running. You run like Bozo the Clown Ninja Warrior.
I know people will hear me from 50 yards away, and then they'll start moving over. I'm like, God damn.
You're like the deer. You're like nature's deer whistles.
And I'm like, is my feet slapping that loud?
I'd have to hear you run.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear it. It's embarrassing.
Like, are you in shoes or are you barefooting?
No, I'm in shoes, Mike.
You want to barefoot though. No. You don't want to be like one of those nature runners?
I'm flat-footed, so I need the Hokas with the support and all that.
Speaking of that, I have literally seen those barefoot runners in downtown Orlando.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are brave.
Yeah,
sir.
there's a guy around here.
Very brave.
There's a guy around here that does it all the time.
I understand they're like, oh, we evolved like this. Our feet are supposed to run barefoot, but you're right. Downtown, and then also doesn't your feet all the gravel and everything just put
You build up a tough callus, I think.
Is that
I think so.
They're doing it to stunt and impress.
They're doing it.
It's
to
a
impress,
flex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything that anyone does these days is for appearances. Everything.
Okay, all right.
Everything is. You want to try another one here?
How much is that bell?
Oh crap! Let me get back to it. The run bell is. If you backed it, let's see what it says here. You got to click it. This one's making me click.
Oh, okay.
$35.
Yeah, too expensive.
Yeah, it definitely is way too expensive. Now, this one, on the other hand, this is Broad Mind. Unlock the power of your mind. Revolutionary brain-computer interface. Lab-quality EEG kit that makes advanced neurotech accessible.
All right. I have no idea what this does.
Bro, I actually had to do a lot of reading on this one.
Imagine experiencing it without physical limitations. Take a deep breath.
Hold on, is this Demolition Man? Is this a GD Demolition Man helmet?
This guy,
I've been waiting for.
He puts this thing on automatically.
This is Sylvester
sucking
Stallone.
his soul out. All right, hold on. We'll go back to it here. Here we go back to it.
Relax and play.
So is this a
Any
controller?
movement, actual or imagined, starts in the mind.
Okay, so this thing seems to be claiming that unlike my MetaQuest and the two controllers that I carry that all old Italian grandpas punch their big screen TV at Christmas time, instead of using that, you will be able to put on this, what appears to look like a jawbone headset that, sends sound waves through your mandible,
Yeah.
It appears to look like one of those, and you put this thing on, and if I have this right, Mike B, things that I think about should be triggering the normal VR buttons and thingy.
Right. So basically, this uses like it's EEG or electric encephalography to basically read the brain waves that you're putting out and read your eyes, and using those and a lot of other data points that they collect through the headset. You basically can train this to do a lot. Now, a lot of what they said is it's just monitoring brain activity. So you can get full readouts on things that are being on those. But you can also train it to act as a controller. And so it'd be like if you want to fire your gun, instead of pulling a trigger or pressing a button on a controller, you could map it to maybe clench your jaw. And it reads that and goes, okay, that means fire the gun.
So I'm going to be doing this a lot.
This seems harder than just using my fingers. I thought it read your brain.
How do I dunk again? Oh, I got to chatter my teeth. I got to dunk.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But eventually, I guess you
Hold on a second. I got a bit of Fortnite.
You can train these AI models to read, I guess, like the alpha waves in your brain. And
I'm not an alpha. I'm a sigma.
Oh, damn.
I'm a sigma.
Didn't know I was in the room.
You got no riz, bitch.
So this doesn't seem like it's going to work.
This is a hunk of crap. You know why? Because it's only I think to get into this, you only have to throw the guy $180. You mean to tell me I'm going to have a controller where I can use my mind to have Paolo Banchero dunk a basketball in 2K for $180? Everybody'd be backing this.
Because in the actual demonstration video, it showed a player playing a first-person shooter game, and if it's claiming that through just your brain waves, you can literally control a first-person shooter.
It's like Tesla claiming that their cars can drive themselves. This is not a thing.
No, but that is a thing.
Well, but you got to monitor. You got to monitor. Is my point. It's not going to just do it. There's no human. It ain't going to do it.
Well, it'll go out of a parking space and come pick you up.
It will do that. It will do that.
I mean, so that is closer to driving themselves than I've ever seen any brainwave. Like, I've seen people like move a mouse with their brainwaves, right? Like,
I still don't believe that.
Like, there are people that are quadriplegic that have some I think
it's got to make them mad. You can't even say that. Right? Like they hear that, they're like, you know what? That's not fair.
Well, they can talk. Actually, I don't know. Well, yeah, I think we can.
You don't even know what it means. We don't even know what it means. We're like,
they have like a breathing tube, though. I don't know.
But yeah, I guess one of the big things is that this one is basically freestanding. There's no surgery required. Where I think
I don't want any surgery, man.
Yeah, I think some of the EEG tools that they have right now do require a little bit
like
of
a Neuralink or something.
Yeah. So this is like
where do they put that? Is it always in your brain, or can they like? Can they put it in my anus and just wire
just run a long cord?
Wires? Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do with my Ethernet. I just run a cable out of our office up the stairs to my Xbox.
So, but I guess this does maybe mean that we're close to something like this,
or it means there's someone trying to scam people that think we're close to it, right? Because I do think that there are a lot of people right now that are using AI as a way to just steal people's money because because it's a hot term, right? So they're like, AI, this AI will make a version of you that'll do X. And then you just put it out there. It's not a good product, and you get all this money, and people realize it's not good, and then it just kind of goes away.
There are a lot of people that don't even know what AI can do. I was talking to someone the other day, just telling them about how you write songs with it.
Yeah.
And they're like, it blew their mind. They're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, it'll write an entire song start to finish with whatever lyrics and then they're like, we have to write all lyrics, right? I'm like,
no.
Yeah, you can, or you could just say, hey, write it about this, and it'll actually be witty and then comical. And they're like, what?
I mean, we're at a time when you can. It is a little scary.
They didn't know how to write jokes.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Just as of this morning, Timbaland, the legendary producer behind countless hits, has teamed up with Suno AI, and I believe he's the first artist to officially link up with him, and he has released unreleased music with a particular artist, and they're doing a contest where if you use AI to remix his song, you could win $100,000.
I mean, how many submit? Like, someone who knows how to do it, you could just submit unlimited amounts.
Yeah.
It's so easy it creates it in seconds, and just like, here's this one. Just upload hundreds and hundreds of songs, and maybe one of them hits.
Yeah, 100%.
And to be honest, isn't this just the same thing we're complaining about? This is just filling the internet with more digital trash.
Absolutely. Every day, I use the equivalent of 3 full city blocks of Chicago
internet trash
to create pictures of Tom and I doing nothing. Like, I won't even use them. I'll be like, look, I made you and I at a flea market, and we're both women. And it's like I use 3 full city blocks of power.
Daniel listens to podcasts about podcasts, and when we were driving over for the Halloween special to Casadega, what was the stat that podcast said?
It said every day there are over 175 million podcast episodes released. It was something like that, right? It was like 150 million or 100, or was it 150,000? It might be 150,000 episodes a day.
Yeah.
It's something crazy.
Yeah. Or maybe hours of content. It was some mind-blowing amount that was so absurd that it was hard to even comprehend what that means. You're like the amount of content is insanity.
Yeah, and now you have AI just taking it and pumping out more stuff.
No stop. There's no stop. He doesn't have to sleep, doesn't have to eat. It just content never stops. It's crazy. Anyway,
let's do the last one here.
This one was my favorite. Right. I know you guys will like this.
This is alarm. Can I say that? No, I can't. That is alarm C word. The new sensation of waking up with good vibes.
All right.
I mean, I might have to edit it. We'll see. Does it say its name? Do you remember?
I think it does at some point.
So this is okay, basically, I don't think they're going to thank you for not VOing it, alarm C word. Our project is to bring alarm C word for D parts, an innovative analog morning companion to the market. Alarm C is designed to change the way you wake up, offering a personalized experience that's tailored to your lifestyle. Unlike traditional alarms, Alarm C uses a unique combination of gentle vibrations and customizable settings to ensure that you start your day with a vibe. Whether you need a soft nudge or more of an invigorating wake-up, Alarm C adapts to your needs. It even has a snooze button.
Okay, I'm confused. So, is this?
I guess
is this for a man or a woman?
Both.
I don't think there's. I think it's for anyone that likes to be like.
You got a hole?
Yeah, this is for you. This is for you.
Okay, so then my next question is this something that you
go to bed with?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you before bedtime.
You know, I wouldn't do
plugged
that.
up.
I'd probably tell my wife, like, hey, set an alarm to wake up in the middle of the night and put my alarm. Will you wake up in the middle of the night and put my alarm C in? Because I don't want to sleep with it in there.
Oh, you guys don't sleep plugged up?
No, I never sleep plugged up.
Now, do they bring up the fact that this could be uncomfortable?
I would say it's unsanitary.
Like people,
I think you're supposed to let that thing. Like like after after Earth Day birthday, you don't just leave the trash in the. You clean up the venue, right? You're supposed to let it breathe and clean it up, let the grass regrow.
So maybe this is for those people like me who wake up like 2 hours before their alarm clock, and maybe then you put in your alarm C word so you can have a nice fun wake up.
No one wants this.
No.
No one ever said, like, I wish this was invented. I feel like this is just a gag.
It's a gag.
Do they do that? They put gag Kickstarters?
No. This is dead serious to this man. But let me guess. This man is there are a group of people that are
sexual deviant,
are eccentric. Business owner with too much money who will wear very loud, colorful jackets and have like a mohawk, and he's like almost 70 and he's losing his mind. And he's using his money to try and get this product going.
And so it vibrates when the alarm goes off. Is that the point?
I believe so. What are we raising to? Who are we? 10 unique vibration modes that can be tailored to your personal preference, allowing you to choose intensity and vibration pattern, whether you prefer a soft gradual wake up or something else. Vibration indicating number, hours, minutes. There's timer controls.
And maybe you want to take just a little afternoon nap and have a cool wake up.
Okay, now that I would the nap aspect of it is the only thing I could see. I cannot see myself getting ready, I'm done with Monday Night Football, and then I'm like, oh, where's my plug?
Daniel puts on his Manta sleep
I put on
mask.
my Manta. I do love a good Manta sleep mask.
Puts in his alarm seat.
I put my alarm in, and then I'm,
ready for bed.
I'm ready for bed.
Well,
then how do you turn it off?
Let me look at this differently.
Hold on, what if I get up in the middle of the night to go pee, and I sit down, and I drop my alarm in the toilet?
It's waterproof, so that's fine.
Thank you. All right.
So
I thought of everything.
I did.
Where does he get these incredible toys?
There was I said this on the show one time, and it wasn't ACT. It was more of an AMT thing. But I said if I had unlimited money, and let's say that my wife didn't mind this or whatever, it was a situation you lived like a king and you could do whatever you want. I did say that it may be an option to have a woman wake me up with fellatio every morning.
That's different. It's different for boys.
So,
a pair of underwear that vibrates you awake guys would buy those and be like, yeah, I got the auto blow underpants, man. Nothing like waking up with that.
Well, the vibration doesn't do much for me. That's more of a woman thing.
But I think they could create something. What I'm saying, my problem with this is that I do not think it's sanitary for you to leave things like that for hours. It's just not. I don't think
for 8 hours.
I don't think that's a thing, man. I don't know a lot about the female body, but what I do know is that pHs and there's things there, right? It's complicated.
Yeah, some sort of chemistry.
Yes, we're big dumb idiots. So if you put a vibrating diaper on me and I go to bed and it vibrates me and wakes me up and it masturbates me, I'll be fine. But women, I don't think they're supposed to go to sleep. I think you're supposed to be clean and go to sleep free from having yourself stuffed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said what I said. I said what I said.
Yeah. And then don't laugh like that, Mike. It's creepy. All right. There's the products. I like that.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I like this bit.
Should I play his song?
Yeah.
He gets drunk and passes out. Super funny, there's no doubt. Greatest mustache on a mouth. It's our friend Mike B. He gets drunk and passes out. Super funny, there's no doubt. Greatest mustache on a mouth. It's our friend Mike B.
So, Mike, how's work going?
Man, it's been good. I finished up a pretty hefty work week covering for my boss while he was on vacation.
Didn't need to call him out like that.
No, it was cool.
I would do that. How's things going, Dan? They'd be better if Tom pulled his way. I'll tell you that. Right? That's not what you do.
I was covering for him on vacation.
This is not a healthy relationship.
No, it's cool. It was a good
He's
time.
Probably very upset that his Yankees lost.
He's a Mets fan.
He's a Mets fan. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, he's really going to hate me now. Sorry. I was just linking New York up. He is a Mets fan. That's right.
No, it was his birthday, so I was like, yeah, man, take your birthday off. Go do your thing.
Well, wait a minute. He's the manager. It's like, it's my birthday. I'm taking the day off. You stay here, and you better not work on your stupid products bit while I'm at work. You better be cooking this food.
Yeah, I love it when my employees give me permission to take a vacation.
Yeah. Hey, Dan, just so you know,
of a big dog.
You're good for the weekend. No need to stop that. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you telling me that, brother. Thank you.
So you had to work extra? How many days?
It was like 7 days straight.
Whoa! Oh, wow. Hey. Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, like, I'm a manager too, so a lot of it is just like making sure that everything everything just happens.
Yeah. He says that because EJ can never come in here and say he's a manager.
I like calling your boss out, then also...
I'm on his same level.
Yeah, telling us that your job's not that hard.
My job's not that hard. I allowed my boss to take time off, and we're on the same level.
So what... plug where you work at.
Yeah, it's Dharma...
That'll help.
So everybody knows.
We'll clean up this mess. Hold on. We got this. Tom knows what to do. Plug your place of business where your boss is really mad at you.
It's Dharma Southern Chicken. Open all week, dude. Come in and get some vegan chicken sandwiches.
I was getting delicious chicken.
Did you address your honey bear?
No, why'd you bring it up?
I noticed that, Tom.
I knew he would notice it.
No,
let's talk about it. I figured
it out. I put it here so it reminds me of Mike B every time I work.
Yeah, it's been there since the day he brought it in.
Yeah. Looks surprisingly exactly as full as I gave it to you.
Well, he painted the inside of it to look like it's full. I'm covered for you.
You already ate it all.
So we painted the inside red.
Yeah. So I'll show our Twitch. Look at this.
I made that just for you, Tom.
This ransom note hot sauce that Mike gave me.
That's been sitting on this console for. What do you know when you gave that? Can you go back and pull the receipts of your text messages?
Hot sauce doesn't go bad.
Yeah, it does.
No.
Yeah, it does. When it's handmade, it does. When it's handmade with love and forgotten about it, does.
Mike B did, how many months ago?
Like 2.
2 months ago, stopped by the studio.
Like, I got some stuff. I was like, I'm definitely going to eat it, and I'll never leave it on the console for 2 months. That's a guarantee. Bye.
And he drove by, and then I had to run outside, and then he did that move where he gave it to me out his driver's window, and the cars are backing up in the street. And then Mike's making some small talk, and I'm sweating because I see the people, they're waiting. Like they're about to drive around.
They're about to honk too, and that's when the pothole was out there. We had a big mammoth pothole out there.
And then I'm like, I'm sorry, just get this hot sauce and I'll forget about it.
And then you never tell me anything. Come running and sweating holding a honey bear filled with homemade hot sauce. I'm like, what happened? And you're like, I don't know.
And then I put it down on the counter, never to be touched again. Sorry, Mike.
All right.
I'll eat it. I don't care about things going bad. That's what me and Daniel.
You're missing an opportunity. Eat it right now.
Yeah. Put a dab on your finger right now, buddy.
I love that. Like when you get a Christmas gift and it doesn't fit, and they're like, put it on. Put on that sweater. I want to see you in it.
Wear it.
What's my name?
Exactly. How was my hot sauce, Tom? Did it taste good? What'd you put it on? What'd you eat it on?
And then what's running through my head is like, all right, just like Guess Who? I'm like, male or female? I'm start narrowing down just a guess because I will guess because I might as well.
I'm the worst one. They'll be like, "You don't know, do you?" And I'll be like, "No, why?" I relish it at that point. I'm like, "Well, I guess you got me. The jig's up."
Guessing is better than saying you don't know because you do have a small chance of getting it right.
But it's more insulting if you get it wrong. If you're like Bernadette and they're like, "No, my name is Steve," and you're like, "Ugh."
I think it's more insulting saying you don't know than guessing the wrong one because then that means.
I had a guy in Publix though.
Yeah,
I got one recently.
Guessing the wrong one.
I got one yesterday.
Insulting.
I'm going through the quick line over here, and I'm coming out, and a guy passing by me goes, "Hey man, love the show," and I always do, and it's a reaction. You've seen me do it. I go, "Hey man, what's your name?" And I put my hand out because I've always thought it's nice to say, ask the person their name and be like, "Hey, what's your name?" And then they say their name, and I be like, "Thanks for listening," and then their name, right? And then the guy goes, "You've done that to me before. You're a good guy." That's what he said. He goes, "You've done that before. You're a good guy." Like he's basically saying, "You don't need to do this old song and dance. I know you're a decent person. Don't give me the old fake-o." That's what he's telling me. He's like, "Don't give me the fake-o," right? He's don't give me the fake. Shake your hand, say my name, thanks for listening, and then say the person's name because that's fake.
Just notice, like, good to see you, because it works even if the person's like we never met.
I like to do a little more. I'm an above and beyond guy.
Because good to see you could mean. Even though you never met that person, it's just good to see you
for the first time.
Yeah. So it kind of overlaps with it hedges your bet if you did meet that person in other times,
Yeah. And I did. He said that.
If you never met him before, a good to see you kind of covers that too, even though you've never seen him before.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like, good to see you.
I might steal that
good
from
to meet you.
Good to meet. No,
you can't say good to meet you.
You can't say good to meet you.
Good to see you. I stick with that.
Say, you been good?
Yeah, okay.
You can do that one.
Yeah,
you been good?
Yeah.
You've never met me. So why would you ask that?
Mike, are you going to work today?
Nah.
What are you doing on your day off?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been doing a lot of crafting lately. With the Halloween season coming up, I've been putting together a wizard costume for tonight, so I got to do some finishing touches on that. Put a little liner on my cloak because I found out this year I'm a cloak guy.
No, okay, all right.
Whoa. What does this mean? You you're going to start wearing more cloaks?
Yeah.
You're bringing them back?
I got a cloak.
I saw you at the Holobox. You had a cloak on.
Yeah, that's the cloak, and I'm just going to...
Are you sure you're not a trench coat guy?
Yeah.
You
look like a trench coat guy.
Yeah, I think you're more of a trench coat guy, and the cloak feels kind of like a trench coat, and you're like, I like this. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it's because you wanted the trench coat the whole time.
Wait till you get a sawed-off shotgun. Feel the power in your hand.
Yeah. Whether it's that or exposing yourself.
Have you ever looked at a mirror holding a gun? Real pale. He was like looking in the mirror.
There was a point in my life
forever.
where I was I wanted to get a duster, a really sweet duster.
Yeah.
They're expensive. I just couldn't do it.
Dusters only look good on tall, skinny people.
Oh yeah, right. But
the only people I've ever seen wear dusters are fat people.
What's the difference between duster and trench coat?
A duster, from what I understand, the duster has that piece in the back. It's almost like another piece that you can put up over. It's like a mega collar. It's like a flap that goes down, and they're almost made of canvas or like a waxed sailcloth or something.
Oh, okay,
and the back has that big piece that I think you can wrap it around your neck. It's for like riding a horse or something.
And that is
and
what
a trench coat is like
a long coat.
Right, but I don't think it's quite as long as a duster. I could be wrong on that, but that's just what I think.
Well, Mike, thanks for coming in today.
Appreciate you, man. Guys.
Good seeing you.
And again, listen to Mike.
No Radio Show. Plug, please.
Oh, yeah. Every week, No Radio Show. You can find us pretty much any podcast aggregate we come on. We're on Spotify, Facebook.com/group/The Owner Radio Show, Patreon.com/ONRS. And if you want to watch us live, just like you watch us here, Twitch.tv/ONRS Live.
Yeah, go there and support other local podcasts. Yeah. Thanks for being here, dude.
I appreciate you guys having me in. It's always super fun.
We will see you on Monday.